Hey everybody, welcome to the JustLolaMan Streamer Showdown, sponsored by eSporter. Thanks for joining us. I'm Jake Brown, aka Uncle Cardboard. I write Star City Games Limited column, and today I'm joined by former eSporter bracket champion, split champion Chad. Did I get that right?
Yeah, Chad's perfect. Just keep it simple. Let's not confuse anybody here more than we need to, and yeah, just keep it clean.
I love that Chad was the part you were like, I don't know if he got that right. Okay, so you were a former esporter split champion. That means that you went through the entire esporter process, came out victorious. You're going to be here to give us kind of the behind the scenes expert look at the draft that we're watching today.
Right. Yeah. Hopefully, I can shed some helpful information. I mean, the esporter program itself. I got to enjoy it on the very first split, and it was a blast. I'm happy to recommend it to anybody. I learned so much from the coaches, and it felt like you were getting kind of private time with basically minor celebrities, people you watch on stream, that kind of stuff. So, yeah, well worth it if anybody out there is interested. It's a lot of fun.
Some of the greats. I'm a esporter alum here too. Chat, if you have any questions about esporter, let us know. But speaking of some of the best in the game, we've got them here for you today. This is an absolutely stacked pod. Let's go through and show you some of the people that are going to be drafting today for $1,000 in cold hard cash. So
can't complain about that.
to see what they pick.
Hey, Jim's qualified for Worlds. That's pretty good.
Like I said, it's now the official Jim Davis era. I'm here for it. Chad, today we're drafting Streets of New Capenna. Let's just talk a little bit about the format, kind of what you're expecting. We just came out of Kamigawa Neon Destiny, which felt like one of the fastest sets. How fast is this format, and what should we be expecting from these decks?
I think it's capable of both being fast and grindy. It's being called a band format, right? But you get 8 guys in a pod that really know what they're doing. And I think we're going to see some spicy decks happening. I think the format is capable of doing some interesting things. But because of that band is so powerful, it's just, from day to day, it's a little difficult. But I've really liked the set. I know that that's not a popular opinion amongst everybody, but I've had a lot of fun with it, and I'm excited. You know,
Okay, so when it comes to Bant, I know that everybody's talking brokers. Would you rather be on the Azorius, more kind of tempo flyers, or do you like Celestia and more citizen focused decks?
I personally haven't played the Selesnya side much.
Okay.
I just find it hasn't been open. Like if Brokers is open, it's the Azorius side, which is great because I think it's probably the better side from what I've seen. Um, but yeah, just that blue white shell is just so powerful. Your commons, your two drops, they're all just so good. And anybody that's played draft enough knows those are important. Commons, two drops, it starts the game up very well for you. So and a draft.
Well, and you also get access to the mythic common of the set, Inspiring Overseer, no matter
Yeah.
which way you cut.
Yeah.
What decks are you trying to actively avoid right now? What's your worst case scenario?
Again, in a pod like this, I don't know if there's going to be any train wrecks, but again, green red, green red Gruul, whatever you want to call it, has been either broken or terrible from what I've seen. I've seen Lord Tupperware specifically posted quite a broken deck a couple of weeks back, and since then I haven't seen much. But red itself is something that if somebody gets into it and is getting past red cards, it is very powerful. It can be a very aggressive deck. The blitz mechanic is, it can be backbreaking. You think you're safe and you have two hasty threats coming at you next turn. So I'm excited to see. I want to see a red black sacrifice type deck. I've really enjoyed those.
Man, if only the involuntary steal your critter wasn't it uncommon. I feel like we, really could have had Rakdos doing some things here.
Absolutely, and I am definitely a sacrifice deck lover. Again, not a popular opinion, but
oh no, I'm
steal
here
and
for it.
Steal and sack. There's just something satisfying about it, and if maybe somebody can get that uncommon steal and sack card, maybe multiple. I'd like to see it. 3 or 4 copies. Let's be optimistic. A couple of body droppers. I don't think you can lose.
Yeah, it's certainly something that I've loved, and just getting that treasure token off of it just feels great. Tell me, what are some of the kind of unconventional, maybe sleeper decks that we could see here today?
It's a good question.
I've seen a lot of people building this Orzhov kind of value deck, a lot of ETB triggers, and
Yeah.
then fake your own death, dig up the body to really kind of just grind out this value because you get enough corrupt court officials, inspiring overseers, all of a sudden it really starts to add up if your opponent can't turn the corner against you.
Yeah, no, and I haven't seen a ton of Orzhov myself, but it's going to be those off-color pairs that are going to be, potentially spicy, and that are going to catch some people off guard. It's just going to depend how focused people are on getting into that bant situation. But
all right, so everybody's trying to get into Bant. Obviously, in a pod like this, you're going to have people that are making great picks all around.
definitely.
One of those big things that they need to do, and which pros tend to do, take lands highly.
Right.
What are the odds that you think we see a 5-color kind of green treasures deck?
High, assuming the cards come. I'm hopeful that that's a thing. Again, that's nothing I've drafted. I'm not confident enough in my drafting to go that route. Nor do I have enough gems. You look at LolaMan there. He's got 500,000 gems sitting there. He can do whatever he wants. I've got 3,000 trying to jump from draft to draft, and I just can't explore that. But I'd love to see it. I'm all for, I'm a huge cube fan, right? So if somebody could make a deck that looks, similar to something you'd see in a cube, I'm here for it,
Absolutely.
Let's see some spiciness. Let's see somebody win $1,000 with something that we haven't seen before.
And just an update for everybody, you can't see, but directly behind our heads, LolaMan has a message that says that we're helping Ben fix his stream. So it's just going to be a couple more minutes before we get everything kicked off here. But, good luck to Ben. So, Chad, do you think that this is more of a Prince or a Pauper set? Are we, really just hoping to get a few bombs, or can you make a deck work off the strength of your commons alone?
Oh, it's commons all day, right? You just look at Inspiring Overseer. It's basically the best card in the format. And getting into that common is, just ridiculous. Um, so yeah, I mean, there's definitely bombs. Don't get me wrong. If you're getting bombs in the right colors, that's great. But
Yeah,
you're
Sanctuary
also
Warden
just,
just feels like
yeah.
like gilding the lily.
It's the kind of card that I play against and I look at it and it doesn't seem that threatening, but I never beat it. So, you know, it's very unassuming. Those counters on it just make for a whole world of hurt, and to be able to draw cards off of little kind of useless counters is apparently broken. So, and
chat,
yeah,
we'd love to hear from you. What are your favorite bombs? What are you looking to open? Pick one, pack one. If it's a Sanctuary Warden, Elspeth, I've been a fan of opening just a big white bomb and really trying to carve out that, Azorius side of Bant Brokers so far. What do you think some of the traps are that people are facing in this draft format? Where are people going to be, kind of going off the rails?
um, again, with this pod, you're not going to see it as much, but I think taking certain multicolor cards early it's a mistake, right? I mean, there's good enough fixing in the set for the most part, but you don't want to get stuck in certain spots. And I can't remember the green white common
Civil servant?
civil servant. Yeah, that's a card that I look at and I'm like, I want to play that. But if you pick it early, you're forcing yourself into those colors. And like I said, the green white and pair is good if you get there, but you don't want an off color to drop. So um, that's the kind of thing that, again, you're not going to see from these drafters, but something that you run into, from us, day to day, casual, semi competitive drafters.
Sure, sure. Air of a Sealer in the chat says rabble rousing. Obviously, just busted stuff.
Oh, you know
Bambi's
what?
Revenge asking about an echo. Echo, we'll look into that. Big echo. Everyone's getting an echo. All right, let's see where we might have double audio coming in. No, I never need headphones. This mic's too good to need headphones. All
You know
right.
what? Speaking of rabble rousing, in the Arena Open, the most recent one, I had a sealed pod with both rabble rousing and broker's ascendancy, and I went 6-2. And let me tell you, I am still sad about it. Um, you know, Arguably the two best rares in the set, or two of the best, and I just couldn't pull it off. I,
Oh,
I don't know. And that's the thing about sealed though, right? Is you're gonna run into other people with the same amount of amazing bombs, and that's it sucks, but that's life. That's life when you have both broken commons and broken rares, and then name them brokers. It's just life.
there it is.
Yeah,
There it
yeah.
is.
They planned this all along, and they're just watching us suffer, and it's good. I'm having fun. I am still drafting, so.
Amen. All right, we're gonna be randomizing some seats here, and then it looks like we're gonna kick it off. Uh, Let us know if we're still having issues with echo. I'm gonna be checking the chat. Man, hold on. All right, we're back on the line. Think we're okay. We're just checking everything out. Thanks everybody for bearing with us.
Didn't we,
What do you?
before we started, weren't we saying that, there's no draft that fires on time? I'm like, what?
It would be a record. It
Shot
would
herself in the
be.
foot, I guess, but.
Bambi's Revenge got an Elspeth and Sanctuary Warden in the same draft. Never saw either. That's always the
Hey,
worst.
it happens.
They're in there. But I think that part of this format is optimizing your ability to get to your bombs too, and you have them. Part of the reason Inspiring Overseer has been so great, right? The ability for us to go in and really be able to track down the cards, and just gives our deck a little bit of velocity.
Yeah, yeah.
What are your kind of final thoughts before the draft? Do you have a pick for who you think's going to come out on top?
You know what? That's a great question. I thought I was gonna have an answer right away, but you know, I think I'm just gonna put my chips on Lola Man. Just his gem count is something to be desired, and it speaks for itself.
Something to be
He's
desired.
it is. You know, I was just saying yesterday, like that's one of his accolades. He's the only person that could get there without buying them, and eh, it's impressive. And he's aiming for 1 million, which is ridiculous. But yeah, I'm on Lola Man. I think I think he's got a good shot. But yeah,
All right,
tough
I'm gonna
one.
call Seth Manfield. I'm going old school.
I like it. I
But it
like it.
looks like
Yeah.
we have fired. Okay, pick one, pack one. What are you taking here? What do you like? What's
Who
sticking out?
who are we following?
I think this is Lola. We've got
It
Lola.
is
He's
Lola.
just a
You're right. Okay.
hidden.
Okay, we're good. You know what? Echo Inspector, where he's going, is a route I'd go as well, just because again, that blue white shell is so good. I would
Sorry, I
I
was a
would
little
think
triggered by the
about
word echo after the rough start.
yeah
It's like
yeah that
we
as
need an
well.
echo inspector here.
There's a chance I'd look at whack again. Just it's a pretty good removal, especially against shield counters. And I've had a lot of good luck with black decks. Um, Black red specifically has been quite good. Mayhem Patrol, maybe Wheels, and those are two pretty good cards in that deck.
Yeah, I
But
certainly don't mind whack in a meta where everybody wants to be banned, right?
exactly,
And
yeah,
especially
exactly,
where white is your stronger side of either of the, two color pairs, that
yeah.
whack for one, it
Yeah.
becomes
Yeah,
brutal.
exactly. Yeah, and you know what? Your wheel, you're calling it professional's fine. That mayhem devil card, whatever it's called,
Mm.
that's a good pickup. So a
Ooh.
couple good wheel options, but
But this
again,
is just
out.
an easy out of the way, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
I
easy.
mean,
Again, though, if you went that black red route, you got a good options, right? Body dropper, murder, both good cards in that deck. But again, you're kind of making yourself stuck a little bit, especially body dropper. You pick that up, your black red sacrifice. But no, Lola is cruising along here. This is why he is so good.
yeah,
Just
I
gets
mean,
past the right card.
and you're looking at whack. If you follow it up with murder, then you've got, a couple just 1-for-1 removal
Yeah,
spells, which
yeah,
for me haven't played that well
yeah. They've
so
they've
far in
been
this format.
fine.
They're
Yeah, yeah,
fine, but they're not like like if you look at murder through the lens of a core set, where it's like, oh yeah, this is, a premium, B or higher card. Here it's just like, there's so many little things. And
yeah.
murder's not where I'm trying to be.
Exactly. And that's why I like whack a lot better, is it gets by shield counters. And
Amen.
using a murder to kill a shield counter is not good, you know, in
No,
any
not at
in
all.
any way. So
Looks like the blue's still flowing here for Lola Man.
yeah, I mean, Wing Shield Agent is a fine card, certainly. Not an early pick. I'd be interested to see what was taken from this pack. Um, there's not a
Yeah.
whole bunch I'd look at
If
here,
only
but
there was
it'd be
some way we
interesting.
could see what Reid was up to. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge, say no more. Yeah, I mean, I think Windshield Agent's interesting because you have so many great flyers already in,
Yeah,
white blue, that it feels like a little bit of a hat on a hat sometimes, where you're
yeah,
like, yeah, I mean, oh, what am I gonna do with this?
yeah. Yeah, no,
uh,
I haven't played it a whole bunch, but it's done the work against me. Even just having that shield counter, just gumming up the ground while you attack in the air is, I think, just good enough.
yeah, and 3 toughness does matter. Oh, but it goes that over. Interesting. Okay, we're starting to see those the bant drying up.
Yeah, yeah. Here we go.
He gets repositioned in the seat. You can see, all right, what are we doing here? But the nice thing is, you could still jump into Maestros at this point.
Exactly. And you know what? Just Amir itself has been quite a strong pair. It seems to be underdrafted. The Snoopy Newsy is surprisingly potent, especially once you get that what +1/+1 in lifelink. It does a lot, right? Um, oh, here we go. What is Reid up to?
Reid, show us the bottom, man. Dig, Reid, dig. What's
The
going
fact that
on
he's
down
not
there?
grabbing out of the way quickly means that he's not blue, first of all.
Right.
But
Okay, it
again,
looks like he's white down there.
yeah.
With with a fixing land, it looks like.
Yeah, and again, there's nothing wrong with taking some lands early, especially if you have a route in mind, right? They're so powerful if you get the right ones. So
Interesting. All right, so we're come on, Reid, give us a little something. Give us a nudge, buddy. You love to see it. Okay, so oh,
okay.
Broker's Ascendancy.
Oh, he just
Nice.
wants to be able to play that. That's interesting. Out of the way is just so good in anything blue. But
Right.
if his goal is green, white, splash blue, which it might, because I think blue is, again, like we talked about, the better option, probably the more contested option. Um, you know, leave it to Reid to show us how to draft, right?
And for everybody at home just wondering, LolaMan just snapped up that out of the way. That was
Oh
a
yeah, right. Oh, that's
windmill slam. And so you're looking at Reid going to be pretty cut on blue, and blue's already looking kind of rough here. You think so? He's kind of eyeing this charm. What
yeah.
do you
Again, he
think of
could.
Obscura Charm? In your charm rankings, where do you got it?
You know what? It's the one I probably have played the least with. Um, but I did just draft a deck this morning with two of them, so I might have an update after that. But it looks good on the surface, especially it can bring back your bomb common, right?
True.
Um, at instant speed, which is quite powerful, I think. Um, and it just I think it does a lot of good things in the right deck. I can see the power level. In the charms in general, I've actually really liked them. If I can reasonably get them in my deck, there's always at least two good options on them, and I'm happy to play them.
Yeah.
Um,
Okay, so here we see Reid looking at this bruiser. There is a shattered seraph over there, which does fix nicely for that charm.
yeah,
I mean, is Seraph out of the cycle of kind of make a land a triome? I think it's kind of in the middle for me.
yeah, it's one that I think is always going to be a one of. I think
Sure.
it's again at 7. It's tough to play more than one, more than two. Um, it's obviously strong as a 4/4 flyer that gains you life. That's sometimes a swing, but too many times I've had drop the seraph, get it removed, and you're back to square one, right? Because it takes such a hard, it's such a it takes a whole turn to get it down. But um,
It
yeah,
can help stabilize a little. It's I mean, I've seen worse
yeah,
plays. For what it's worth,
yeah.
yeah, Lowman just definitely got that Seraph as well. Um, looks like Reid grabs Hold for Ransom here. A card that I higher on than I expected to be.
Yeah, me too. I've played it in most white decks I've had. It, just as I mean, it's essentially pacifism, right? With some upside.
Yeah,
Um, but yeah, I
being able to
agree.
get that card late always feels good. Never
Yeah,
feels bad.
yeah, yeah. It's surprisingly good. Just
Where
to
do
be
you
able to
take
get
him
your
here?
attacks through.
This
What's
is a
that?
really interesting pack to me.
Yeah, it's very interesting because he's passed up on a lot of good blue cards. So taking the blue card does feel a little bit awkward. And then Lola passing to him next pack, you know, you got to assume he's got those blue cards you passed to him.
Oh my god! So he goes for Make Disappear, not quite a mana leak, more a mana geek, but it
Yeah,
works. It's been
I've
doing a
really liked
lot of
Make
work at this
Disappear.
format.
I had a deck with 6 Make Disappears in it, and it was so fun.
You're playing the
you know,
David
you,
Copperfield deck. That's impressive.
yeah, no, it was surprisingly good. Uh, Again, just as a 2-drop nullifier, it can get bigger stuff. It's surprisingly good. Similar to other removal and other things in the set that looking at it from an initial standpoint just looked so weak. Especially with sack outlets and all kinds of different things. So
Completely. Just so everybody who isn't seeing Lowman takes Run Out of Town that was passed. So now that leaves Lowman with 3 bounces in terms of 1 Run Out of Town, 2 Out of the Ways. Basically, get out the deck.
yeah,
So
you
a
you got to be
big
feeling good
tempo.
about this. Like he's essentially mono blue right now, which Again, color number two out of everything, probably. It's probably white, blue, something, 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 depending on your preference. But blue is, I mean, art, I mean, just so good, you know? Just if you just look at the cards he has, out of the way is like bounce and draw a card, as we know, is just unreal. Like Into the Royal, other cards we've had in the past where you sometimes have to pay extra to draw that card, and you are paying four here unless it's a green creature, but it's just so strong, you know?
A lot of green creatures running around out there.
Yeah.
All right.
And bouncing Titan of Industry is not good. I've had to do it. Not what you want to be doing. So
All right. Well, we see one of these involuntary employments. I don't think this is the deck for it, but I just
no.
want to note we've seen our first involuntary employment.
Yes, I would love to see it being played in a deck, and I think it will be. I think even just in an aggressive deck without sack outlets, it's good enough.
Okay, so
Steal a
what are
big
you on
threat.
here? Because I think, I'm seeing he's looking at this fake your own death. Are we convinced that we're black?
Yeah, not really, but it's tough, right? You don't really want to go anywhere else other than white or black, probably. Those are probably your best pairs with blue. Um, See, like, do you get another run out of town? But then you have so many bounce spells, and your deck just becomes clunky, right?
Yeah,
Um,
I mean, you're really kind of oddly curved at that point too.
yeah,
You're
and
cherubic.
Lola saw lots of blue wheeling, so you can assume it's fairly open. So grab a white card, grab a black card, see what comes. Pick something that you're going to play if the colors are flowing, but you don't want to get yourself stuck
Sure,
in
sure, sure,
in
sure.
mono blue bounce. I don't know what's going on with the feed, but
Okay,
oh,
so
there
now
we go.
we've
It's
got
back.
looks like another Echo Inspector here. Kind of looking at curve, I think, and going, what exactly is
Yeah,
happening
a
here?
lot of
And
fours. A lot of fours.
yeah, this
Yeah.
is it's definitely top heavy at this point, but there aren't a lot of options. If you what else in this pack are you looking to nab?
Yeah. Echo Inspector is just so good. A 4 mana 3/4 draw a card essentially. In its best case scenario, it's again I've had a deck with 4 or 5 of them, and it's just so strong. You get a couple of those rolling, and your opponent doesn't really know what to do.
What do you think about? So, I mean, Maestro's Ascendancy not off the table at this point, right? You could definitely go into a Maestro's deck.
True.
Any thought to or consideration on the Ascendancy here?
I don't have a lot of experience with it. Again, I'm all for the spicy picks, so heck
It's
yeah,
got there's
pick
so
it.
many
But
spells here. I mean, you've already got all these bounces. I feel like you could
yeah,
really generate some.
yeah,
Oof. All right. Well, definitely didn't go Ascendancy. Join. What was the pick there? Oh, another Echo Inspector.
yeah.
Of course.
Just
Match.
the safe pick. Yeah.
All right. So, what are you
No,
taking here?
another interesting pack. Again, you picked that ascendancy. You got the follow up with our spell queen there, and it's looking pretty good as maestros. But just again, you're looking a little clunky if you're not going to get enough playables. So I like the safe picks he's looking at here. Court official is fine, right? You need 2 drops. There's ways to bring it back. Nobody likes to discard a card. Fake your own death. You can trade it up plus get it back, which is sweet. I love that play. Um, yeah, no, I'm on board here. Again, it's so strange because you could pick the Celestial Regulator, which is a strong card, but didn't see much white last pack.
Sure.
It's probably contested, right? We know it's the strongest. If somebody had it's inspiring overseer early, they're sticking it. So it's just the way it is.
All right, so
Again,
now kind of looking at Girder Goons or Corrupt Court Official, I'm thinking of Vacuum. I'd rather have the Goons, but curve consideration comes into play. And
yeah,
Colin, the Professional, also in the pack. This looks like a seat that could have easily been Maestro's, but then I feel like it's a really tough deck to get to come together if you don't have a board wipe or two. And
yeah,
so you get Corpse Explosion. You have some really powerful options to wipe the board, which is great against these Bant decks that really need to get a huge presence onto the battlefield.
yeah,
Um,
yeah.
this is interesting. Are you off of Girder Goons just for curve consideration? Or
I I'd probably pick up the goons just because they're so powerful. Um, again, lots of time left to pick up some two drops. There are some. Oh, he's going with the official, and I think that's fine. It's a good two drop. You don't want to be stuck with, um, the low end two drops, the filler cards, the Halo scarabs, stuff like that. They're fine, but you'd rather have an effect on the game when you throw your two drop downs. So,
Sure. All right, so
um,
here, you've got the Maestro's Theater, which does fix for, your Demure colors. Also
yeah,
looking at Quiz the Augur of Agonies. That would be more of a speculatory or speculative pick. I, I'm curious where you rank kind of the cards that only really fix for half. Okay, looking at that Seraph, looking down there and going, how much white can we
yeah.
get in here?
Yeah, again, this card I've played with a couple of times. When it goes off, it's very good. If you have a lot of draw effects, it's clearly powerful.
Sure.
When you draw a card, the opponent loses one, you gain one. Historically, that's just strong and magic, right? So if you can find some cards that draw two at its instant speed, like it's just powerful. So I like the pick. A little spicy. I think Maestro's Theater is maybe the safe pick. It's probably something I'd go for. Um, and again, if you're fixing for just two colors, I think there's just as good.
Sure.
It's essentially an evolving wilds.
Right.
And we've played that in two color decks throughout history. So
Right. You're just
no,
thinning out.
yeah, I love his pick because again, I'm here for the spice, but could go either way.
This for me, I mean, I definitely don't want a quick draw dagger in this style of deck. I
No,
think
certainly not.
Midnight Assassin's just fine, especially
Yeah,
with, all the brokers decks going around. They tend to be pretty
yeah,
versatile in the air. It's just
yeah.
kind of
So
annoying.
yeah, so far this deck's looking like you want to
Ooh.
play the long game, right? Lots of tempo, lots of stuff happening. Yeah, lots of good picks in this pack. I think
This is
I think I
spicy.
think we are in the right colors, ladies and gentlemen.
So the potential larcenist, which has been hit or miss for me, mostly on the back of how often it misses.
Yeah, it's subpar for sure. Um, Now the custodian, on the other hand, one of my favorite cards in the set. Unbelievable. It doesn't look great, but if you're aggressively slanted, it is so good. Again, I've had a deck with like six of them, and they're just unbelievable. Like you get three of them down early, and your opponent doesn't know what to do because it is, I think, mostly a slow set. It's fairly grindy. So if you can get a good aggressive start, you're looking nice.
This, you love to see the storefront here. This is really starting to round out because it makes these, splashes a little less painful.
Yeah, yeah. Can we just comment on how easy this looks? Like,
It,
it, he has not had a hard pick. Like he's had some hard, pick 8, pick 9, whatever. But everything is just flowing. There's something to be said about finding the right lane, and I think he's done it so far. It's looking really good.
making it look easy here.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay, so we're gonna see. I mean, not really much in this pack. I mean, you're not taking a butler with the I mean, butler. Really, you need to be pretty loaded.
What? Why is nobody playing red? What is happening?
It's true. I mean, I think we've a lot of people have pegged red as the weakest color. It's not
Ooh,
exactly.
ooh.
I don't know if people have necessarily found the lane like they did in Kamigawa, where you just go into mono red artifacts and go to town. But that's
Interesting
shugging.
pick. That's a card I haven't played much with. I don't know if he plans to play it, but oh, the Maestro's Ascendancy came back. That's interesting.
Man, see, I'm looking at Ascendancy and what are, potentially we could run back for spells. I think the problem with Ascendancy is not a lot of sack targets. You've got the
Yeah,
corrupt court officials so far, but you really want to be able to get a little bit
yeah,
more in terms of value. But I love it as a speculation pick here.
for sure. Yeah, it doesn't hurt anything. If you're on Arena, you're getting 20 gems, so you're happy.
Ching.
You know,
Yeah, not a
helps.
lot of opportunity cost. Wow,
Yeah,
late shadow.
interesting. Not a card I've played with, nor have I seen people play with it, but it obviously has some level of power if you're in the right situations. So
Absolutely. Chat, sound off. Have you played with the Shadow of Mortality? What's it doing for you? Cutthroat Contender happens to combo with it perfectly. Use the contender, choke down your life a little bit,
that's true. Yeah.
drop out that shadow a little bit earlier.
And see, and Shadow, the reason I haven't really picked it up much in my giraffes is it's just kind of a vanilla creature, which is okay. But if you can make it fly, make it fly, make it unblockable with whatever that card's called that connives, then it's really good, right? Um, it's something that you can make very good.
Total.
Unfortunately, there's no cards that you can sack and hit your opponent's life with the power of your creature,
We
but
can't
that'd be
fling.
helpful. Yeah, if we have fling in the set, that might be good.
All right, so what are we looking at here? A little chat stands out. We still don't have a disdainful stroke. Another corrupt court official. Not really interested in Obscura Initiate, even in a dedicated Obscura deck. And Cut of the Prophets, I think we just blazed right past it.
Yes. I'd be on court official or the disdainful stroke. It depends what route he wants to go with the deck. Disdainful stroke is good, really good when it's good. But I've had it sit in my hand, because a lot of the best cards in the set are 3 drops, very
Sure.
much so. So it gets better in sealed, as people will probably know, because there's more bombs, more high costed cards. So I think court official is great. You know log jam that 2 drop spot with impactful cards, and
Wow.
it's
Well,
just, oh
what do
geez.
we open here? And you
I'm
get
liking the crocodile. Unblockable is pretty powerful. No, I mean, Obnixilus is unreal. It's going to make the Obscura plan a little awkward. You might have to ditch that, but that's okay. The Obscura cards he has are fine. They're not game breaking. Whereas Obnixilus is, if you've listened to any podcasts about constructed magic,
right.
Obnixilus is pretty good.
That's
You know,
I and you see Reid Duke incredibly punished for taking a pack one, pick one, uh,
Overseer
broker's
probably,
ascendancy.
or broke, or do we know what he picked
I,
in this
I'm
pack?
I would guess that somebody didn't well, so early, so his pick one, pack one was the
Right,
broker's ascendancy,
right.
then opens Obnixilus or gets past an Obnixilus because this is oh no, this is just pick two. Okay, great.
Yeah, yeah.
There
So
we
like,
go. And also, Nightclubber, I think, is also,
very strong.
right there.
Yeah, yeah,
It's devastating,
yeah,
especially if you can, have that fake your own death already in there. I mean, whew. All
yeah. No,
right,
this
so
is looking great for Lola. We should definitely go back and see what Reid took pack one, pick one. I'm interested. In a pod draft, do you maybe think about hating cards? No, obviously not pack one, pick one, but if it came pick three, pick four, you're probably going to take it. But
yeah. Here now, are you looking at Cormella and going more in on this, Maestro strategy and thinking more Grixis, or are you like, yeah, we'll just try and splash Obnixilus, and that's really the extent of it?
I think either's fine. It's a little late to switch fully into Maestros. Um, I'd probably go down the route of just splashing Obnixilus if possible.
Okay.
It's just, keep it as keep the clunkiness away if you can, because ultimately, you get your 2 drops down, you get Ob down sometime early, and you're flying. You got those temple cards, bounce cards. Like, I don't know. I'm excited to watch. This
Yeah.
deck looks sweet.
What I think
It,
now we have the question of how many corrupt court officials are too many corrupt court officials?
You know, one thing that stuck with me, I was watching one of Deathsy's streams a long time ago, and he made a point of saying they were talking about how many of a card do you play? Like, what's the max, like in general? And he's like, if you have more than 5 of basically any card, you play all of them, something along those lines. And I generally follow that, because if the card is reasonable with a pretty good effect, you're not sad.
But I mean,
You're
it
gonna
makes such a terrible top deck. Like in the case of corrupt
yeah.
court official, I hate it
Yes, in this
because
case,
they're
it's a
diminishing
little bit.
returns. Eventually, there are no more cards left.
Yeah. The thing I'd probably keep in mind though is we do have the 3 Echo Inspectors, so tossing a court official to those is fine, right?
Great place to
So
dump
more
it.
fodder, right? Yeah.
And here, I mean, there's an option to take the Grifter, although it looks like he might be after a little more fixing, just making
Yeah,
sure those. You're making those land drops and making sure you're getting that white when you need it. There just
Yeah.
isn't. I mean, at this point, you've really got the auger and a shattered seraph. Does that warrant a splash?
For me, no. We'll see what Lola thinks, but
Sure,
I at this point I just want to get Ob. Get that mana for Ob as best as you can, because it's gonna win you so many games. But yeah, for here, I think the Grifter is okay, but a little slow for what we're trying to do.
sure. Well, it gets paid off with the tramway station here,
Sixth
which
court
has to
official,
feel great.
man.
Just
I mean,
rocket fuel.
the land just makes sense. There's so many playables right now. I think it's just a safe pick.
Yeah, definitely gonna get there.
Now we
Look
did
back, I don't.
pan over to Reid briefly earlier, and he does have an inspiring overseer, so I think that might have been his pack one or pack two pick one, but we'll have to confirm that after. I can't
Man.
blame him again. Again, potentially better than Ob. In the right deck, it's probably close,
Yeah,
especially with Broker's Ascendancy.
it probably is. And then you look at how many corrupt court officials are we going to get? Well, great target for casualty.
Yes, exactly.
Um, all right, so
There's our 5-color card we need.
yeah, exactly.
Let's get rolling.
Okay, so looking at our colors, curve types, going, oh, maybe another run out of town that take us to 4 bounce spells all day. Are you playing Majestic Metamorphosis here? Is that a card that you're excited about in this style of deck?
with 5 court officials, or however many do we have? 4.
With
Yes,
4
I
all day.
mean,
Okay.
yeah, and it draws a card, and tempo is so important. You're trying to get to your bombs, you're trying to get to your more powerful cards, and the game is kind of as fast as you can. So yeah, a card I've been very impressed with.
Ooh, nice little indulgence
Yeah,
pickup here.
yeah, never mad about that. It's been a great card, especially when you don't have to discard. It's you know just it works so well with all these bounce spells as well. There's nothing better than sitting there with a counter spell, a bounce spell, a draw spell, and you
Pick your
know
poison.
that's my favorite kind of magic. Blue is a great color to be in, and it's a lot of fun.
Well, and
Um,
pay 2 to draw 2 is an incredible rate in this format where even kind of your traditional divination effects cost 4.
yes, exactly. And again, in this format, aren't the worst, but you don't want to play them if you can help it.
Yeah, you look at Demon's
Um,
Due. This is traditionally a card that you look at for 3 mana. I feel like in a lot of sets and just
yeah,
go, okay, so do you look at potentially taking, more spells and then trying to run Maestro's Ascendancy? You've got a lot of value in being able to recast Out of the Ways, but not a ton of spells.
yeah. I mean, it's probably not going to happen. As much as we'd probably like to see it. It's a card. Those ascendancies, other than the brokers one, there's a lot of work to getting them
Yeah.
going, and again, they're more so constructed cards. Again, I think the focus is play your cards, survive, you know, get the tempo going, get your big flyers in the air. Um, I don't know. This
And
this
then
deck's got a lot of good going on for it. So
oh,
I,
and to fake your own death.
oh, so
It's
good.
just
You see the fist pump there by Lola?
yeah.
Oh,
You love to see it.
it's interesting. It's a card that I think is still underrated a little bit. But it's caused so many blowouts in games I've played, both against me and for me. But even again, just as simple as bringing a court official back in combat, trading up for a jewel thief or whatever, right? And then bringing it back and making them discard again. It feels so bad for the opponent. So
Oh god, yeah.
always
Hey,
a
just the
welcome
ability
card.
for it to 2 for 1 out of nowhere, I think is what
Exactly.
gets people.
Yeah, and 2 for 1's in such an interesting way, and the bonus treasure token, it's one of those things where you look at it and you're like, you shouldn't get a treasure token. Like,
Didn't need it.
there's no reason for it. But that's why it's so good. Um, it's probably the best iteration of that type of card we've seen in a while. if not ever. I mean, it's just so much value for 2 mana. It's
All right,
crazy.
and we've got JustLolaMan that's going to start deck building here soon. Before we tune into that, just a quick reminder that today's coverage is brought to you by Esporter. Esporter, where you can get 4 weeks of coaching and gameplay, practical gameplay that ends in a tournament for prizes. And the coolest part is that your coaches are actually the players that you're seeing in these tournaments. They're pros, they're your favorite streamers, podcasters, people that you're really going to learn a ton from. You get better. If you come out of this program and you're not a better drafter, I assume they'll give you your money back and then call you a liar. It really is just one of the coolest programs out there. And you can take an extra 10% off of your entry if you type the exclamation point esporter command. You can throw that in the chat, get your little discount on our upcoming coaches, JustLolaMan and Corda Calls, Alex Nikolic from the Limited Level Ups podcast. I just could not recommend it enough. Chad, I know you hated your experience. You can't wait to tee off on them.
Yeah, esporter was one of those things that it came up. The streamers were promoting it. Stuff gets pushed. This new program. Blah 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 blah.
We've got an
Um,
NFT. Blah 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 blah
yeah,
blah.
but for me, grinding Magic, grinding other games, whatever. But playing arena all the time, the pods, whatever, it gets a little bit dull. You feel like there's more that you could get out of it. I feel like esports kind of gives you that. It's the weekly matches that you get teamed up with. You get the private sessions with the coaches, which, I mean, you just learn so much, and it's just, you build a little bit of a community within your group.
Absolutely.
um, and it's a lot of fun. The best part for me definitely was the tournament at the end. Um,
That was my
Now that
least
I've
favorite
had,
part.
I mean, it's a little bit subjective, but uh, just the feeling of some competitive magic it's so much more fun when there's something on the line. Um,
Absolutely.
Anybody that's played arena opens, just the stress that it causes, the anxiety of like the big choices, and esporter gives you that in a very fluid way, a very welcoming way. They're very very friendly people, and I felt
Absolutely.
as though I got way more out of it than what I paid for, um, which is sweet. I think they offer a great product. I could sit here and toot their horn all day.
Well,
Um,
stop it, because we're gonna go back to JustLolaMan now.
okay, okay,
Let's
okay,
see.
okay.
So let's check it on this deck build. Looks like we're going to keep, go kind of this 4-color, no green.
Yeah, I feel like the white splash is a little greedy. Again, this is coming from a ladder grinder that hits mythic, but struggles with it. Um, so again, my opinion is, not the best, but I just feel like he has so much going on in black and blue that he doesn't need to push his mana base too much. Um, Again, he does have the fixed seed, so I don't blame him at the same time. So
Sure.
it's a tough one. And with all the card draw he has, you know, that auger is just so much better. It can win games on its own if you get it out soon enough. So
Yeah, you look at, kind of 6 spells with the inspectors out of the ways and the metamorphosis.
yes,
Maybe you get a couple fake your own death triggers and, on an inspector, get an extra card that way. There's a little bit of card draw here. You can see it.
yeah.
Are we are we concerned about our power level? I mean, we talked about this being more of a pauper format than a prince format. We have the Obnixilis, but for the most part, this is built on the backs of a lot of commons and uncommons.
Yeah, the power level's looking pretty good. Definitely lacking bombs. Like Ob is a bomb. The rest of the cards are going to make an impact, but it's going to depend what the opponents are doing, and if our bounce is going to be effective and not punishing for us. Bouncing a token is going to feel much better than, again, like I said, bouncing a Titan of Industry that you don't want to come back down. Uh, and we don't have any counter spells, so you can't even do the bounce counter kind of 1-2 punch. So it'll be interesting to see. There's not a lot of removal happening here either, right? It's
Right? Low
the
in the interaction.
bounces. Again, the bounces have been very good. Run out of town. It's interesting. I did this twice in the last 24 hours drafting. Um, the what is the rare vampire's name? The two
The
five
angel?
flash.
No. Oh, Evelyn?
Yeah, Evelyn. I had two different opponents flash out Evelyn on my end step. I ran out of town the Evelyn because you know
Right
that
back on top of
you
that library.
you
Exiles
exile the
herself.
top. Both times they put her on top and then emoted oops, and I'm like, I mean, it worked perfectly for what I wanted, but I'm like, come on, like
Womp
at
womp
least put it
feels
at the
bad.
bottom. But yeah, it was very satisfying. So that's an interaction that you can try if you ever ever come across it.
You love to
Somebody in
see it.
chat said, "Oh, sorry."
Oh no, I said you love to see it. DJ Skateco, those 4 corrupt court officials.
Yeah,
You can't get corrupt enough in this court. This is wild. Okay, so 2 obscure storefronts. You've got this 2 stations in a waterfront district. I mean, maybe this seems like you could get a reasonable mana base going here. Are we
yeah,
timing uh Lowman on how long this deck build can take? Because we're dying to see some matches.
absolutely. Yeah,
Red. All right, we're going to take a quick look at what everybody else is doing. Take a little prep for you.
yeah. I'm super interested to see what's happening around the table. There's a lot of good cards flowing, and I'm never gonna be mad about some spicy decks, like I was saying. I hope that there's some steel and sack. I hope somebody got there.
Yeah, somebody had I
I
mean, it was definitely right an option. It was almost there.
Yeah, we saw some body droppers. We saw some of the steel cards, but again, if there's not enough playables for that deck, it just doesn't get there. Um, it's tough for it to come together because it has red involved. But when it does, it's honestly so much fun to play. So
All right, so here we get Seth's deck. Seth Manfield here winds up with that Nightclubber, 2 Overseers, which is just devastating.
somebody asked if this is
Sleep
an
with the
open or closed deck format. I'm assuming it's open, but I cannot confirm.
I can't confirm either. Okay, so I mean, this is again not like a bomby heavy deck, but you've got the Clubber and the Murder, a couple Overseers, Undercover Operative, but really not a lot of fixing here. Are you
So
going
this
3 colors?
these are
Where
all
are
of
you?
his. So this is just all the cards he picked, right? It's not
Right.
his deck. Yeah, there's a lot going on. Obviously, that blue white shell is there. The one drops are unreal. Like it's got potentially 7 playable one drop cards, which is insane. Like if he could get going and get a aggressive start, this deck looks kind of sweet. Again, you have those overseers. You have your informant at 2. Um, the regulator. He's got all the pieces of Azorius that you want to see. I'm just trying to see what. Oh, and he's got operative at rare, which worst case is an overseer with a shield
With a shield
counter,
counter.
and you're not mad about that. So
Okay,
no, it
and the
looks
Seraph to
great.
fix. All right,
I'm
I'm dying
interested.
to see what Ben S got. So Ben looks like he was the primary beneficiary of a lot of people being out, and then you see Lord
Couple
Tupperware over here also possibly a Simic. All right, so what does Ben end up with?
couple of red green shells. There's that Titan of Industry. That's
Wow,
awesome. That card is sweet. Um,
Unleash the Inferno, the
is
Envoy,
this just a
Mister.
Jund deck? Obviously, it
This
looks
is
like a Jund deck.
Jund.
Look at those briefcases. 4 Courier's briefcases. That
We're
is
gonna see
going
some
to
fast
make
Titans.
that is this is sweet. This is the spice that I was waiting for. Um, and the involuntary employment, like what a card.
Plus, you get the Aria here, which can be rough. I mean, that can definitely stabilize you. He's got a lot of tokens early, and then this Aria.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see if he's playing the Aria or not. It needs white mana, correct?
Right.
Yeah,
I mean, with the briefcases, I wouldn't put it above Ben to do something spicy here. Let's check out esporter's own Quinte, who winds up is our white green drafter, our only Celestia, it looks like so far. We see a couple
Yeah.
shovels here.
Yeah, the shovel's a card that, it looks strong, and with enough citizens, I mean, you're never wrong with 2-1 trample. I mean,
Right.
that's trample. Trample is one thing in this set that I found very powerful. Um, Especially like instant speed pumps, like for the family, +4/+4 on a trampler is devastating. Especially because there's so many little 1/1s or 2/1s, lots of stuff like that in the set. So, yeah, I think
Yeah,
the
plus
shovels might actually play better than you might think.
when I love
Definitely,
Skycrier as a target for a shovel, that gaining 3 life a turn, not
yeah.
shabby. And sometimes
See, and
really
that's
hard to dig yourself out of. No pun intended.
yeah, yeah, good one. It's that's interesting. I forgot the Skycrier was a citizen. I've only played it as a 1/1 lifelink flyer in my Azorius based decks as just a
Sure.
kind of an early threat and keep me alive longer. So I love that. That is sweet. No, this deck looks very unassuming, but I think it's got enough going on that it'll get there.
We'll see if
Um,
he takes it to the streets. A lot of ways to make,
yeah,
some tokens here, but a card that I have not seen pay off yet. But all right, let's see. Let's jump over here. Check out Lord Tupperware. Does get the Corpse Explosion, a card that I think can really throw people off, at least in game one. Just a reminder to everybody that's watching, this is best of three. So, definitely can be something that, can throw a wrench in plans.
yeah. Corpse Explosion is kind of like a hostile takeover at home, right? It's doing the
Sure.
job. You get to pick how much damage is done, so you can save some of your stuff. But it's going to be killing most of your stuff, and you can't. It's hard to kill big creatures
Sure.
unless you have a big enough creature to exile yourself. So, um,
Yeah, unless
yeah,
you're
I agree.
discarding Rock's Pummeler, then
Yeah, yeah. Never. It's not a bad. It's not a bad card. It's not a broken rare.
but it
It's
seems like
just
this looks like it's gonna be pretty straight up, gruel for the
yeah.
most part, because you're looking at over here on fixing, got got nothing for you. Head back to camp.
Yeah, and that's why I say, the corpse explosion. You might not even want to try to play it.
Sure.
He's trying to get his creatures down. It's very much an aggressive slanted deck. If he's playing the roast masters, you don't want to kill those. If you get multiple of those on the board, they are so powerful. Especially if you get cards that can make multiple creatures.
Yeah, you get a stimulus package out. You get
Exactly. Yeah. So
things where all of a sudden this starts to add up. Really
yeah,
quick,
and
let's get through a couple more decks here. We
yeah.
got Jim Davis
Yeah, again, I'm all
coming.
for Gruul Smashy. I in fact won the esporter tournament with Gruul Smash and AFR, so I will always be a fan. Just
Love
another
to
plug.
see it. Looks like Jim is doing it all here.
Yes, Hostile Takeover is catching my eye right away. Um, Again, up there with I think it's rated number 3 on 17 lands of all the rares. It's just so powerful. The
Would
whole changing your toughnesses and stuff is so strong.
truly, do you think that this, I mean, how many colors is this deck? Is this just going to wind up
Um,
being, because I mean, you've got a lot of lands. It looks like he wanted to do kind of a 5 color
yeah,
control, and 5 color
yeah.
control, if you have hostile takeover, much more doable.
Yeah, if just this from the surface, it looks like a fairly strong Maestro's deck.
Yeah.
Base black red. Well, it's tough, right? His a lot of his early drops are kind of black red. But you could go the blue route with your disdainful stroke. You run out of towns. Kind of be a more grindy deck. It looks strong. I'm interested to see how he constructs it because again, hostile takeover and Cormella as a combo is just crazy to be able
Yeah,
to
I
hostile
can't wait to
takeover
see this
twice,
build.
um, and I don't know if dig up the body, you can do it 3 times, like unreal.
Yeah, you just start looping, looping, looping.
Yeah, hostile takeover 3 times in a game. Let's see it.
All right, let's see. Okay, so now we're going into more kind of aggressive, Jundish, a lot of early drops.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah. This is on the surface looking like one of the weaker decks we've seen. There's just nothing that stands out as overly powerful. But You
I'm
know,
looking at base breakers. Interesting. We see another involuntary employment. I mean, this is a deck that really just needs to curve out and get removal at the right times. Hopefully, cast murder because
yeah,
2 black looks like a tough ask.
yeah. You know, those initiates it too. If those were um, court officials or body droppers, stuff that's going to make a more of an
Even
impact. I
mayhem
think you'll.
patrols.
Yeah, exactly. Man, patrols are so strong. Um, but you know what? This deck is the kind of deck that could be quite aggressive, and a lot of the decks we've seen might not be able to keep up with that. You know, if you can't get to hostile takeover in time, you know, sometimes
Boom.
it's too late. So,
Now let's see.
oh,
Reid with oops, all 3 drops.
are we playing the 5 color card?
So this
Is
is
he?
where let's see. We do have. Why did I think I saw Broker's Ascendancy? We do not have a Broker's
No, we
Ascendancy
do. It's
over
there.
here.
It's there. Yeah.
It is?
Right.
Oh, there it is,
Yeah.
right in the
Yeah.
middle. Beautiful. All right, so one of the most powerful rares in the set. And then kind of a lot of so you get a Ref Fiends Informant, you have an Overseer, Mage's Attendant. I mean, this feels like kind of a nuts and bolts deck that could get there in Brokers.
Yeah, you know, it's missing a few pieces. Some of the cards I think he's gonna have to play are not cards that you love to play. Give me a lot of 2 drops, which again, not a bad thing. They're not all Rafine's informants. So you know, the backup agents are good, especially with flyers. Putting token or counters on flyers is always strong. Um, Exotic pets. You know, quote unquote a pet card of the format. It's if you get one of those tokens with a counter on it, it's just so good. And if you get one with a shield counter as well, I mean, you're laughing. So again, this deck has the potential. It's just you need to get the right cards, and that ascendancy. If you can land it, you know, as people have seen, you're going to win the game. It's crazy. I thought I was going to beat one the other day, and it's just exponentially so powerful. They put any creature down and you have to kill it. You know, it's
And with counters mattering with so many cards too, it's yeah, it enables so many synergies on top of the fact that it's just busted good. I mean, remember Avabrook Caretaker at home? It's this enchantment.
yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah. Do
All
we have any
right.
other
Well,
decks to look at?
that's all that is the wheel. We would see Lola here.
Okay.
So why don't we
Yeah.
do this? We will take a quick break and then we will be right back to actually watch some of these games start happening here at the Just Lolaman presents or excuse me, Just Lolaman's Streamer Showdown presented by eSporter. Thank you. Hey, everybody, welcome back. This is JustLolaMan Streamer Showdown presented by eSporter. Type exclamation point eSporter in chat, and you can get a sweet deal on an upcoming session. We are going to watch a draft, not fire. Thanks, Arena. You make it so fun. This is, I can see into the future. This is about to not work? Or am I looking at the past? What's happening?
True Inception, I think.
Okay, I've got another monitor going over here, and okay, there.
Oh, so much rage quitting. What is happening? I thought their
I don't
decks
know,
were
but
quite good.
Ethan looks so confused. I think somebody might have loaded the wrong deck. Would be my guess.
Any
Felt like,
magic
oh,
support staff in the chat?
Ethan clearly not happy. Look at this man's face.
I got a victory. That's pretty good.
Yeah, round one sweep. Record. He's speed running the streamer showdown here, everybody. Thanks so much for being with us. If you're just joining us, we have 8 of your favorite pros, streamers, and limited grinders all here competing for $1,000 in cold hard cash. I don't know actually how cold it is. We'll verify that with the presenters. Those presenters, again, are eSporter. We are doing Streets of New Capenna, best of 3 draft, and we're going to go to our first match between Ethan, Lord Tupperware Sacks, and JustLolaMan.
Yeah, for
All
any
right.
any TikTok people out there, we'll see if the money jiggles or folds, and that might tell us something.
I need to ask my fiance what that means. She is my official official person when it comes to TikTok.
I am in
Looks
the
like we have a
exact same boat as
delay
you. My
on.
fiance is also my TikTok connoisseur.
Yeah,
So
she just does like the TikTok hour in the morning. It looks like
yeah,
Lolaman's a little bit further ahead of Ethan here. We're seeing into the future, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome
yeah,
to it. It's
got
terrifying.
some trouble, but we'll try to follow along as best as we can here and see what's happening.
And you've got to love technology, it warms all of our souls. It is the little fire inside of our hearts that we rub together 2 sticks to create a little warmth for our bindles and our bag of beans. Here we got Ethan taking advantage, it looks like, early. All right.
Yeah, technology is obviously great until it's not, as we're seeing here. It's great we're
I,
able to do this kind of thing, but if it's not going to work, it's just
our
useless.
producer's amazing too. Trying to get 2 different streams linked up at the same time. Everybody's got their own delays, internet, all that good stuff.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
really appreciate the production team here at eSporter for doing the best they can. Here we got a corrupt court official and wing shield agent on the board, just staring down a 5/5 jewel thief, which is terrifying. And you're sitting there, you're looking at that run out of town, and wishing you had a land.
Yeah, Jewel Thief is a card, even on its face value, is quite threatening. Um, Vigilance and Trample is a combo. I mean, with 2/1/1 counters on it, like that card is a house right now. If Lola can't find a way to bounce it, like, and even if he does bounce it, there's still value coming back down, which is I guess the name of the set. The good cards are just so good.
Welcome to
Um,
Value City, baby.
yeah,
Population. Ethan. Now, it did, when we saw his hand earlier, it looked like he might be a little heavier on the land side. So I don't care too
yeah.
much about that, bounce, getting a treasure token, whatever. He's got enough mana, but are we going to see the
So
blowout here?
maybe this triple block shows you exactly what I was saying. It's just
Yep.
so tough
Oof.
to deal with that. So
Well,
Lola's
keeps
gonna,
the agent. Shield
yeah,
counter's gonna
yeah,
keep that agent around for another day. Really needs that land. Be able to run out of town and try and stabilize. But on the flip
yeah,
side, you're looking at 2 corrupt court officials here. Sure, you can pitch one to Inspector, but uh, Lord Tupperware really close to being able to dump that hand.
yeah, exactly.
All right, does get the land. We'll
Oh,
see if Lola can pull it out. But right now, we're gonna go to Seth Manfield and Jim Davis already in progress. All right, so we've got Seth, the jerky magnet from Jack Link's. Looks like kind of a sleeper so far. Jim's Hearst is doing some work.
Yeah, the Hearse has been a really good card. Um, it gets very powerful very quickly, punishes a lot of cards in the set. Like this, the lackey in hand right now for Seth Manfield is, something you want in the graveyard, but with a Hearse on the other side, I mean, it's you just keep it in your hand, I guess, on the battlefield for now. But yeah, not a lot going on for Seth right now. Lots of expensive cards. Probably happy to put one in the graveyard here.
Oof, yeah. All right, so are you looking at Crocodile here, or are you just hoping to hold on to something?
Yeah, Crocodile is the least important card in your hand, but with the operative, there's not much you want to copy. Probably why he's
Sure.
looking at it a bit. Um, yeah, just nothing really valuable at the moment.
Hold on to your top
Um,
end threat here.
exactly. The way this game is going, that might be the only way to come through. Um, the buy your silence for the hearse is probably going to be needed. Like I say, when that thing gets big enough, it's not even the crocodile can handle it.
Oh, well, this stream officially brought to you by the good folks at Capital One. Capital One, let me show you my card. Oh, it's in my other pants. Dang.
What's in your
Capital One,
wallet?
they
Is
will
that the
give you
same
a
company?
free credit report, free credit
Yeah, what's in your
monitoring.
wallet? There we go. I got it. Got it.
USAA. They have a fun theme song. We are still getting a peek at the top, it looks like. You can see we're gonna have some Gator on Gator
Oh,
violence coming up, it looks
expandable
like.
lackey looks like he smashed in there. So
Curl
smashed in for
across.
one
I'm
damage.
feeling cross right now about this car ad. And Alienware. Man, he just took one hell of an ad break here. You gotta love it. Get this man some jerky money. All right, so it looks
Absolutely.
like something got tapped down up there. What do we think?
Probably just drawing a card again. Not much action in either of their hands, right? So
Sure.
that's the good thing for both sides. It's going to be crocodile on crocodile action here pretty soon. But
The
until
battle of
then,
the unblockables. Unfortunately, it's really hard to make it unblockable when a hearse is eating all of your yard.
exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely being able to get a little bit of graveyard interaction in this set uh, goes a long way. There's not a ton out there.
Yeah. Yeah. The sewer crocodile is one of those cards in the set that has its place, right? You need late game threats, and unfortunately, especially in blue, there's not a ton of those. Um, so
It's
again,
got a butt on
in
it.
a yeah, in a highly skilled pod like we watched, you're just not going to get there on playables sometimes, and the crocodiles have to come in. And as you'll probably see, though, the crocodiles I think are going to do some work. Um, Again, they're still threats, right? They have to be dealt with. Um, 4/6 is nothing to be laughed at, and there's a crocodile as we speak about them. Um,
Dun,
One of these
dun.
removal spells is going to be used on the crocodile, I'm sure. Probably sleep with the fishes. Great card. Always happy to play it. Um,
Yeah, and you see, the hearse hold back there. Obviously, you don't want to attack into open white mana in this format.
yes,
Seems like,
and even just I guess the bounce is usually non-land permanent anyways, but um, no reason to put the hearse out in harm's way if you don't need to.
mm, all right. So Crockett and Sleepy. We have 5 cards exiled with hearse. That look right?
Yes, correct. Yeah.
All right. I mean, grows into a ridiculous threat right before your eyes. Do we see a hearse activation here? You got to think we're crewing, right?
Yeah, I think at this point you have to. You're at the very least you're blocking the lackey and then exiling it if it attacks. Obviously, it's not going to, but I don't think there's downside to crewing.
Yeah, I mean, we
Um,
haven't seen a land play, but I don't know what you would be scared of for a single mana with your hearse anyway, right?
yeah, nothing that I can think of. But
No, so
or no, that's we're just maybe a little bit behind. It looks like Seth already attacked, so
we're getting roped.
there we go.
Okay, so we're gonna
So not crewing there. I again, I'm not really sure why. I'd be interested to know. Uh, it's one damage you could have prevented, which again, not the end of the world, but I think with no risk.
Yeah, I don't see what the downside was there. We're not, we're not worried about a swords.
Yeah,
It's
I don't
gonna
think
be
anything
okay.
really can do block, do 4 damage. Um, the one card that hits a blocker costs 1 if you target different. I don't know what color of creature it is. What is it called? Striking blow or something?
There you go. If it targets a red creature,
Yeah, and obviously Hearse has no color, so I don't know.
knockout blow, knockout blow.
Knockout blow, yeah. So interesting. If this comes
Okay.
down to 1 point of life, I'll be a little bit sad for our.
So we were talking in the opening about how this was kind of, it can be a fast or a grindy format. Here, this looks like one of the grindier matches we're going to see. Just a lot of
Yeah,
value here.
yeah, and both players started with high costing cards. Not a ton
Sure.
of early drops. The Hearse on one side it's not aggressive on its own, right? It's just accruing value till it needs to come down. Um,
Just wild to see. I very rarely see goons that have not been blitzed. This is a brand new era for me. Just to trot out some fully paid for goons. What are we seeing? I mean, is this just showing how much attrition is going to go into this game and can't afford to lose bodies on the ground?
yeah, it's interesting. I find that I do put the goons out without blitzing them quite often. Maybe a mistake, but it depends what you're trying to do. I think at this point, they're both players are probably trying to stay alive. Um, and a 4/4 on this board is pretty strong. So, um, at least gumming up the ground, allowing more attacks with the Hearse. Um, yeah, and
Sure.
especially in a shell that's not red black, you're less so wanting to sacrifice things. Um, again, ended up having removal used on it, so
Yeah, is there
probably
any
happy
chance that
about the
we could get
decision.
Jim screen on the bottom, Jim in the future? You'd love to see it.
The buyer silence on the goons is surprisingly strong as well because you don't get the token.
Yeah, no
Um,
token there, no
yeah,
card. That's just a clean 1-for-1 with a
yeah,
treasure, so like 1 1/4.
yeah. Now it'll be interesting to see how we deal with this Hearse. Now that's going to be the question. Um, I felt as though the buyer silence was a great answer for the Hearse. So I don't know what else Seth has in his deck to deal with that.
Yeah, I mean, at the point where, he's not gonna block the 1/1, I'm not too excited about buy, but God, I'm gonna take a peek over at his deck list and see where we're at in terms of what does Seth have for potential bounce, maybe?
Yeah,
For
exactly. If he's got some bounce in there, I mean that answers that question. But I can't remember what he
I
had.
I mean, he's kind of drawing dead against this Hearse at this point. We're not seeing a lot in the board. He's got a couple deal gone bads that could potentially be in there. I mean, a witness protection, which doesn't seem ideal.
Yeah,
It seems like this,
you need to convince the Hearse to block, and then it comes off when it uncrews. So, or would
yeah,
it change into a simple 1/1? Then it wouldn't uncrew.
it would
I
lose all
have not,
abilities.
so it
And
probably stays as a 1/1. I've never done that, but that would be an option. Yeah,
all right, so we see Nightclubber here, and that's running out at super speed.
yeah,
Doesn't really affect the Hearse at all. It's you see that Seth definitely wants to go on the attack here.
yeah. I think right now what Seth is saying, like obviously Jim's not playing creatures. Without creatures, you can't crew the Hearse. Basically, let's end the game now before you can start crewing that Hearse and attacking. Um, and so far, it's working out.
Yeah, you gotta have the bodies. So sitting with the deal gone bad in hand. Also interesting, does have a land to potentially eat up for Jim. He has that Racer's Ring and a treasure token, so Could sacrifice that. I don't know if he wound up with any green in his final deck list.
Interesting. I don't mind this. The unblockable threat. eh, It's going to be a problem at some point,
When he knows
especially
it's
being
on
at
top of that
9 life.
library, that's great mill.
Yeah, yeah.
So bye bye crocodile.
Interesting point. Most streamers that I watch will say mill yourself, and Jim goes with the self or the opponent mill there. And again, with the hearse, I guess it's probably not a bad thing, right? You're not going to give them any value in the graveyard, so that's probably what made his decision there. But
When it turns run out of town into an actual removal spell at the point where you're just going to mill whatever they toss on top, you love
yeah,
to see it.
absolutely.
Okay. Now he's
Okay, so
got initiate. That does block effectively.
you can try to bash for 9 here, right?
I mean, it really put the clock on him.
Right.
I think that you, in that scenario, are probably just going to jump with initiate. Or do you just say, yeah, go for it? I'm going to crack back for 4.
Yeah, I mean, you got to block 9, I think, at this point. Um,
And then, you know, as long as that hearse is tapped, you're still able to get your, you know, one card and a, you know, filter off of the initiate where it's not going to be doing a whole lot of work otherwise. If
is
it's
the hearse
just
crew 3 or crew 2? I cannot remember.
oh, good question. Unlicensed hearse is crew 2.
Okay, so he could attack. Again, I think he's just going to try to outlast the
Doing this.
aggression here and try to draw into some action.
Sniffing the fingers, getting a feel for it.
Yeah, with that
Oh, and then
Seraph coming down, he's probably going to feel a little bit bad about not attacking.
yeah, that serves definitely a real buffer to that life total.
Yeah, and 2
And
attacks from the hearse is still lethal, but you got a lot to get through. So
yeah, I mean, it's knowing that Lackey's going to be able to just make another chumper
yeah,
for it.
does Jim have any ways to make it flying or unblockable? Do we know?
Unfortunately, Jim does not. So he doesn't
Okay,
have a metamorphosis, doesn't have the security bypass, I want to say.
right. Yeah.
It's pretty much going to have to get there on its own.
So we see run out of
Natural.
town here. It's again a very awkward card when you see a Seraph on the other side. That's the card you'd like to target, but then your
Hey, I mean,
opponent
if he
gains
can
more
get it
life.
on top again and then, oh, no more mill.
No more
Womp
mill,
womp.
yeah. So we're gonna try to draw some action here, which again, oh,
Oh, draws
Island
into
is
an
not the card. Um, yeah, a bit of a waiting game here for Jim. Unfortunately, he's getting hit for 4. The awkward thing too is going to be. Oh, I know. I lied. Never mind. The lackey. I was gonna say if he attacks with the lackey, he has to block it eventually, and it becomes unblockable. But he can get rid of it with the hearse, so that's good.
Yep, we're looking, you know, going through. I mean, Jim is basically out of answers for the Seraph outside of a whack. I don't know if he's played the whack so far this game, but has one in deck. So, you know, definitely has an out in the event that he hasn't already played his out. Do we see a whack in
Yes.
there? Jim, thank you. Look at that. Helping out his coverage team. All right. A little chat here. Great draw for. Oh, yeah. We're seeing the future again. Welcome to it.
How have you felt about a little chat? Have you played it much?
I big fan. I think that
Okay.
you often just wind up with a lot of people that are playing, you know, auras here or there, trying to lock down things between sleep, hold for ransom,
Yeah.
yada
Yeah.
yada yada. But also, just there are a lot of great targets. Casualty 1 is surprisingly easy to hit,
Yeah.
especially if you're in kind of a broker's deck. You have one of these bystanders. You're, uh, yeah, you need to hearse that right now. Even if, oh, would you rather take the 3 or give him the unblockable? Interesting. Because I mean, you're getting pretty low here.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I find casualty 1 pretty easy to hit, and here, I mean, look, it's going to be actively advantageous now. Going to get something that's unblockable and get to look at a couple cards. So
Yeah. 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 No, definitely a strong card in the right situation. Um, even just
kick.
as a response to a removal spell to get a little bit more value out of your creature. Uh, so gonna run the Seraph back again, just trying to stay alive as long as he can. At this point, Seth's life total is irrelevant.
Sure.
That hearse, once that gets coming in, or if it can get coming in into Seth's life total, doesn't really matter how much he has. We're
Now, this
still
is
on trajectory
interesting.
for 2 hits, but Seth with 2 good draws there. You got the Overseer and the Grifter, both great cards in kind of
Oh,
a
and
stalemate situation.
can you imagine a better one drop to pick up at this time of the game, right?
Yeah, again, that's Grifter, right? It's slow, it's fine, but if you have it late, if you have it ongoing, it either gets big or it just gets you value, or both.
Yeah,
Eh,
you might just never have to play another land for the rest of the game. And,
Yeah,
once you've hit 7 mana, you're great with that.
yeah,
You're living the dream.
exactly. Yeah. Yeah, huge fan of the power of one drops increasing so much recently. It just it makes limited feel so much more dynamic, you know, more potential for those aggressive decks, which again, I am more of a blue mage, quote unquote, that likes to grind and counter stuff, but a nice aggressive deck is never a bad thing.
No, and it feels like we have seen truly the rebirth of the one drop from,
Yeah.
Traveling Minister up to, I mean, basically everything in Neon Dynasty.
Yeah. And I mean,
Like
once
we,
you start getting one drops and limited that are also played and constructed, it's going in the right direction. I think it just makes for better gameplay.
well,
That whole
speaking of going the right direction, this is not going
oh
the right direction for Jim Davis right
no.
now.
You
No
know,
longer able to crew up the hearse. But might be getting towards Alpha Strike territory with it. I mean,
yeah,
what is that
but
hearse now?
Seth just has too much value, too much life gain. Eh,
Yeah.
this first game is, looking to be pretty much over with. Especially because we know Jim doesn't have any like big swingy rares that are gonna get him out of this. Um,
Now, he does have the hostile takeover.
Oh, right.
Uh,
This is the deck. Okay.
so I mean,
So he
he's
does.
definitely not drawing dead. He
Just
may feel like it right now.
just a little Slim
Certainly,
Jim.
yeah, it doesn't look like the happiest camper out there. But
Yeah.
takeovers in this deck, and it would be a heck of a pull right here.
Yeah, it's probably the only card. He probably needs it now. It's oh, another overseer. It's nice.
Tough to be Seth.
Yeah, yeah. Tough life. You know. Unreal draws, honestly.
Yeah.
Is the top of his deck. Even Maestro's Theater was a fine draw for him. Little one life buffer, thin your deck out. Great
Oh, and
cycle of
Lackey.
lands.
Not
Oh,
what you
Lackey.
needed
Yeah,
there.
probably lacking a little bit of power level,
Hey,
and
I mean, this.
it's just I'm so good at draft. I would have conceded already and went to the next game, but
Yeah,
Jim showing us that being a true professional is you know really just trying to work to your outs. He does have one more turn to work with, so that one outer could be there.
yeah, I
And
mean, hostile takeover answers Seraph.
it answers,
Looks
yeah, the whole board. Now, if Seth does go with Shieldmate here, he does. He
wow.
probably knows Jim's deck list and he knows that's his out. And even if he hits it, that Shieldmate's still going to be out there. So
All right, and that takes.
very heads up play by Seth, playing that Shieldmate over the Seraph.
Wow, and
Oh,
there it
oh my
is.
gosh.
That's why you.
Oh,
That's why Seth Manfield plays for the big bucks, ladies and
su-
gentlemen. Hold on to that
such
Seraph.
such a heads up play. And as good of a draw it is for Jim, it's just there's so much more happening in Seth's hand that he doesn't know about. And
And even what he knows about's terrifying.
yes,
He goes,
you
"Oh,
know,
shattered Seraph. How
he
do
can
I play that?"
hostile take over into Lackey to block, but you're running on fumes. Like you can't even crew your hearse to block, and then you have another 4/4 flyer to deal with after. So
Killshot takes out the hearse on attack. I mean, this is
yeah, I don't
you,
even know
you
if there's
think, oh, absolutely brutal.
Yeah, so tough. And I mean, Jim played it perfectly. He played to his outs, made it there. Like this is high level magic, and obviously a little bit of luck involved, but he played, kept himself alive to his outs, and as you see, these shield counters are much stronger than they appear.
Yeah.
Um,
Not bad for a Tuesday afternoon, folks.
no, no, not so bad. Good first working match that we've been watching here.
Yep. All right. So
We're
gonna
able to.
make his. He's trying to kill the croc. Interesting.
It's very interesting. I guess he has
Dig up
access
the
to dig up the
body.
body.
Yep.
I guess,
So
and yeah, keeping the lackey alive obviously is the play. Well, two blockers. There's a chance. Again, I'm not sure what's in Jim's deck, but he's given himself a chance, and that's really all he can do.
sure. Doesn't send the hearse, even though the hearse is unable to block here. Just got to chump that shield mate. And then, so you got Seth just going, what do I do here? Do I keep mana open for kill shot? No, apparently. Unworried about the hearse,
Yeah,
undeterred.
yeah. No, the bomb rare is out of the way now, so Seth's going to be firing in all cylinders here.
Yeah,
Again, we know Jim does have a way to bring it back, but he can't get his Cormella and kill it in the same turns and play hostile takeover. So it's looking a little rough here.
sorry, Jim. You can't do it all. All right, so nab a couple overseers as a matter of formality. Draws the rocks, and that's not going to be enough.
No green mana here.
Oof. So he does wind up.
Well, shrug of the shoulders there. He put up a
Yeah.
good fight considering the way this game went. It's as good as you can ask for.
All you could
Um,
do going on to game number
just
two.
just shows you the power of those inspiring overseers, right? Being able to put a threat on the board, gain a life, draw another threat. Like, of course, his draws were good, but even if they're not good, you're still digging to your next card. Getting that shield mate. That shield mate was great. Certainly was probably going to win the game regardless, but seeing the power of those shield counters even against a bomb rare is, it's nice. The way that game played out was very interesting, very exciting, and two more games like that would be great. Let's go to three.
We would absolutely love it. Now, I wonder if we can get access to these deck lists because I'm fascinated to see, you see what Jim's doing here, which is basically, throwing out everything except for in white. He had the Gathering Throng, Mage's Attendant, and Ballroom Brawlers. So it looks like at one point was just kind of like speculating on perhaps getting into Azorius and then just saw too much good stuff. It looks like okay, there we go. Look at this guy helping us out. Oh no,
He
this is
is
just
listening
this
to
is
us.
chat.
Oh, he's doing a deck tech.
Yeah, this is totally a deck tech. Too
These
much to
guys
ask. Deck lists are on the bracket spreadsheet. Thank you, Air.
grinding
Appreciate
competitive draft tournaments while working at the same time.
you. All right, so looking at the bracket, we have a couple updates. Rita Rabbit, Reid Duke going 2-1 over esporters on Quente.
Hey, I
RIP.
mean, nothing to be ashamed. Uh, Getting a win against a Hall of Famer is pretty good in my books. But
And then we also have Lord Tupperware 2-0 over JustLolaMan. So
interesting. Yeah, I thought Lola's deck was quite strong. So, um, Ethan obviously got off to some aggressive starts with that Jund and just I think probably overran the tempo of blue.
yeah, I mean that it seemed like he really needed to hit 4 mana and was having trouble in
Yes,
game one doing that.
yes,
It's
exactly.
can be tough when this feels at times like an 18 land format depending on your deck and you have all of these playables, all this fixing, and just tempo plays against you. So we'll have the winner of this match featuring off against Reid Duke. winner of Numot and Ben S facing off against Ethan, Lord Tupperware Sacks. All right, so early on, we get Initiate on the board, curving out.
Yeah, again, good aggressive starts are quite strong in this format. Certainly not slow, but slow enough that if you can get even Chrome Cat,
Meow.
3 mana 3/2. I've had it in the odd deck and it's fine, right?
It's
You
fun.
get it out. A Scry, never a bad thing. Um,
It's
but
tough.
Chrome,
Obviously needs black mana here, but keeps that strangle on top. You
yeah,
gotta have answers,
yeah,
and
yeah. I think
looks
Jim
like
just trying to get a fast start here, get the momentum on his side,
look
and
at this. So gonna be
look,
able to immediately snag that initiate. No value there. Sorry, no free cards for you. And you see those sack lands just feeding up that hearse. It loves bodies, it loves land bodies. Get everything in there.
yeah. So it looks like Jim is playing 2 green cards, that security rocks and the masked bandits, the fixer for the Jund colors.
That's fine. He certainly wasn't playing Civic Gardeners or even Most Wanted in this deck. So
Yeah, yeah. Just
feeling
wonder,
the
security rocks and masked bandits are both cards that you're not excited about. So interesting that he's chosen to pick them. Obviously, getting some more creatures in the deck is important. So
sure. Here we're staring down kind of an awkward, disdainful stroke. Still no black mana for Jim Davis. And nothing to exile with Hearse. We see the power of shield counters too, just blanking everything on Jim's side of the board.
yeah, and again, sure, 1/1s can take down shield counters or whatever you need to do, but as we can see, Jim doesn't have access to many of those. So
Yeah.
it's tough. You hate to trade 2 for 1 to a fairly fairly common and normal looking creature, but
Indeed. Well, and then
but
here you've got exiling to get that fish token before the hearse can nab that expendable lackey.
yeah,
Hurts. Gonna steal a couple cards from his own graveyard, try and get on the offensive. And there
nice
we're gonna
draw
get a
there. That's
swamp.
good. That'll at least get him set up here. Um, Jim definitely leaning on the power of the hearse this both games. Um, if the hearse wasn't there, he'd be getting bashed for a number of points of life. So nice card to have. Obviously, we see that Seth has a murder ready for it when it does come into the battlefield, but he is probably in no rush to use it because he's in pretty good control of the board. Again, you're just seeing that the power of white as a color. Uh, Rafine's Informant, so strong. The regulator in his hand, gonna tap down any threat that Jim plays. It's just the way the format is. White is so much better than the other colors, and you know what? I'm here for it because I've been enjoying white, but it just it makes it hard to watch when somebody's not playing white.
Yeah, I mean, you've got to just go, all right, congrats, Jim. You're fighting with one hand tied behind your back. Here,
Yes.
looking at crewing up this hearse and blocking, but knowing that we've got something coming down the pipe here.
Yeah. And again, without Jim's rares in his deck, his deck looks quite, anemic. Just not much going on for it.
We'll get
It-
access to black mana, so can charm, can get that,
yeah.
get a little something going here. But you also got Seth a little nervous to play out against Jim, knowing that he's got, hostile takeover in here, and overcommitting to the board can be the end.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know what? Again, just high level plays from Seth again, right? He's got tons of plays in his hand, but you look at the board, see he doesn't need to play anything. You know,
No.
there's no reason whatsoever. Sure his life total is lower, but he's got full control of the board at the moment. Um, and other than that hearse, there's not really any threats. Just
And just having such a variety of answers to threats and card advantage over there, being able to dig up the
exactly.
body.
Yeah.
Woo. All right, so this is the only. So you've got the sewer croc in there too. as a worthy disdainful stroke target, but Jim's
Yeah,
immediately going to snatch out that Halo Scarab and yeah, sure, an Overseer, why not?
yeah,
Great dig up the body target. Dig up the body looking way worse as the hearse continues. It's continues its reign here.
yeah. This is very much kind of a waiting game, and be interesting to see who oversteps first and runs into the problems. Right now, Jim
Both
doesn't have hostile takeovers, so in theory, Seth could go ham. Um, but again, just those the high level brain, you can just see it in action. Um, he just knows that he's got no reason to play into the bomb rare, and ultimately, it's just it's fun. It's fun to watch the thought process of these high level players.
yeah. So get Seth picks up Revel Ruiner. Gonna be able to connive here. Do you just pitch dig up the body at some point and say, listen, this hearse is gonna keep working me as long as it's on the battlefield?
Interesting. Yeah, I didn't think of that. Certainly. As of right now, Seth does have an answer to the hearse if it comes out, so he's probably again just playing that waiting game. Currently, nothing to lose. Um, Running into the disdainful stroke here, but I'm probably fine with it. It's the ruiner is not a card that's going to win or lose you a game.
Surely
Certainly
not.
strong as if you get to a 4/2 menace creature, it is a threat, but um, the 4/6 crocodile is a little bit stronger than that. So
All right, now
we'll see.
seeing an opening here for the hearse, but does not take it, is gonna sit back.
Yeah, again, just
And
keeping his charm up there with the Cormella, he can still play the charm. Um, Both players just playing very slow, very safe. He knows Seth has a mitt full of cards. No need to play into anything if you can help it. But
right.
turning out to be going to be a long game.
Another one of those
Nothing.
fun grinds you come here for.
Yeah, and see this is really Streets of New Capenna as a whole. I think it's very capable of these kind of board states, which it can be a little bit tiresome. Just sitting waiting, but um, oh, see there, we have an answer for the hearse now. So I can't remember if Maestro's charm can help, but I
It
don't think so.
cannot.
So huge for Seth, right? I mean, now there's literally zero threats on the board. Um, the Cormella, is fine, but um, I don't know. I feel for Jim again. It's just Seth has so much value in his deck,
All right, so
and it,
he leaves Cormella at home again. I think, what so Carmella can't get you a charm off here. I mean, do you just take the two there or do you worry? I mean, are you that concerned about the crackback?
yeah, I'm not sure. I
At some
I
point,
thought,
you got to start putting together something. And you've got, it seems like, a couple strong cards in your hand. What does he have in his graveyard to get back with Cormella right now? The disdainful stroke, is that it?
yeah, I think that's it. So probably really trying to keep her alive until hostile takeover is my thought, but and murder on the crocodile, interesting. I might have been inclined to hit the Cormella.
Yeah, especially while the getting's good.
Yeah, but again, just Seth knows he's got the value. He just needs to stay alive, especially with that hearse gone. Dig up the body is so strong now.
All right, so just evaluating. Again, you see the ability for hostile takeover, not even when drawn, just the threat of a hostile takeover, much like in life, can really gum up the works here.
Yeah,
Where,
it just shows you the raw power of the card. I've never seen it be bad. Of course, if you're playing against there's not really any big stompy green decks in this format, so it really does hit most cards. And again, we're just seeing the way Seth's playing the game. You know, he could go all in and just play his cards, but he's aware of the power. He's aware of Jim's deck. So again, open deck list being a huge factor. Having played game one, obviously would have showed him as well,
But we're definitely seeing it early. We're gonna go dig up the body now.
a little bit more action happening here. Um,
And I mean, this is how you're gonna win these long, grindy, controlling games. Is just get the advantage out. Oh,
you
and a
see it?
big corrupt court official here.
Yeah,
Definitely
yeah,
doesn't want to give up either of
huge.
these cards.
Yeah. Again, just more and more value. Just see the potential strength of the court official there, right? Um, again, it's not always going to be that good, but um, when it is, I mean, he just Jim's two cards were both amazing, and the way the game is going, he needs his removal.
Yeah, and you gotta feel like things slipping away a little bit from Jim
Yeah,
here.
yeah. Again, just more evidence that this format, you know, the one for one removal is just not good. I- It's it's as good as as you think it is, but it's just worse. It's worse in this format. You can see Jim just sitting on removal this whole game basically, and you know the creatures, the commons in the set, they have so much value on like non-threatening bodies that like why you don't have to remove them like and
Yeah, I
Seth,
mean,
as we've
Rafine's
seen,
Informant isn't like exactly a 2-drop that would normally strike fear into the hearts of your opponents, and yet,
no, but again, a 3/2 is quite strong. So, but nobody actually wants to use a murder on a two
right.
drop. Like you're completely trading down. Um,
All right, well,
no, again,
Jim's gonna be able to re-up a couple cards here, gets his own dig up the body. A ton of great targets here, but definitely can just get into some Cormella dig hijinks.
yeah, again, he's got some potential here. Still probably needs to draw that hostile takeover. Um, I'm really hoping that we get to see, hostile takeover, Cormella bring back hostile takeover. I don't know if he'd do it in the way that he kills his Cormella with the takeover. I'm not sure how that works.
I mean,
Um,
that, Seth has played one of his exile effects
yeah,
by your silence. I don't think he has a second one looking at the deck list just quickly. I know he doesn't have a second by your silence, but seems like
yeah,
it'd be pretty hard to exile Cormella.
exactly.
Does
So keep her there for value. She's just strong, right?
All right, so
Yeah,
not
yeah. Only one by your silence, and I don't think there's many other cards that exile, especially in white. There's
no, just locking it down. Sleep with the fishes obviously makes it um have to use dig up the body on it. I mean,
He does
here,
have one witness protection though, notably,
nice.
so that would take that effect away as well.
And at some point, you got to look at, using that maestro's charm to try and dig down to, your hostile takeover. I mean, it does have 5 cards is deep.
Yes, yeah. So the charms I've found again are a little awkward in that sense where they all seem to have that value option, but it's not really the reason you're playing it, right? You're playing it
Right.
for the removal part or the counter spell or whatever it is. Um, so it just feels like you're missing out if you're just, drawing a card or drawing two cards, whatever it might be. But
When here
I
we
think
see
that's
Jim Davis has to, get rid of that celestial regulator just to make sure that he's not dead to
uh
the entire board,
I
which,
love the court official copy. That's a little spicy. I
yeah, unfortunately only gets a measly swamp with it, but
Yeah, I probably would have got another fish. Start smacking with the fish. But
all right, adds
now interesting to see what he does here. Gonna sack Cormella to get all that mana.
casualty. Okay,
Sack
so gonna get the
Cormella.
charm back for sure.
Yeah, so you can get two creatures and get an instant or sorcery. So you probably get Cormella back, get your charm back. Um,
Now you're just hoping you don't mill with your dig up the
yes.
body, your
W-
hostile takeover.
Yeah, at this point, yes. Cormella's trigger still in the stack Oh no, now it's gone. Okay.
Okay, so hostile takeover still able to be hit.
Gonna fire
So
off that
we'll see
charm.
top 5 right here. What do we
Okay.
got?
So that's what we're doing. We're kind of going for it all. Ah,
And no, that is
not good.
not
But
what you
we
want.
still have the top deck. He did it once. He can do it again.
Sure,
You know,
absolutely.
I think.
All right, what's Jimothy got for us here? Also, I mean, just
Oh, come
oh,
on!
this guy.
This is ridiculous.
All right, well,
Oh, you can play it with Cormella. Kill Cormella, get it back again for
Hasty
Seth's
Carmella hits
follow-up.
the board.
Wow. I'm interested to see if he does kill Cormella or if he keeps his fish. Or I know he can kill Cormella and keep his fish. Right.
Right. You know, let Carmella live. And
Yeah, again, he really needs the blockers right now. So the smart
Seth
play.
maintains a corrupt court official copy.
You know what? Right now Jim has a chance. I'm not sure if Seth were to whiff on a land and not be, oh, he got the land.
Oh,
Okay.
he gets it.
Because the Seraph is pretty strong here. That life buffer is huge.
Life buffer does help, but I mean, we're going to be able to just ready to rumble with that Seraph, and
Yes.
that's a
Yeah, no,
temporary reprieve.
looking not bad for Jim right now. Playing with fire a little bit, but you know, he's finally in a board state that's favoring him, and you
And
know,
he's going for it.
yeah,
Holds nothing back. Not gonna worry about this corrupt court
yeah.
official. A Seraph off the top for Seth Manfield, though. Woo!
Or was that, or were we that far
Or is
behind?
that like a
Maybe.
pass turn? Or are we just way far behind up
I
top?
think we're way far behind. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, Jim scoops. Oh yeah, the crocodile. He can't deal with it.
Unblock the croc. That is
Crocodile
it for
wins a
Jim
game.
Davis.
See, it's possible. It's possible. Going
Wow.
past those sewer crocodiles, everybody.
Yeah, they're clearly dominant here today. If you want to get more dominant at drafting, sign up for eSporter. We've got 4 weeks of coaching and gameplay. They're going to be starting up soon. You're going to be able to work with JustLolaMan, Alex Nikolic, aka Quarter Calls. Really an amazing program where you actually get to play for a tournament for prizes. You get to do all of those things and meet a bunch of great people, learn about Magic, type exclamation point eSporter, throw that command in chat. It'll get you an extra 10% off. You get to do, I think, one of the most fun interactive coaching experiences that is out there in Magic today.
Yeah. If you're looking to get more out of Magic Arena, it's a great option. You know, some competition, some people to chat with. One thing the arena is missing is you can't talk to your opponents. You can't chat with people. Not that you would want to always. You know, you got the toxic emoters out there, but you know, it really brings more to the game. So you know, if Magic's your thing and you just want to level up your game, get some competition happening, meet some people. Go for it. Esporter is great. I love what they're doing. They're 20 some splits in. They're doing a great job.
Yeah, they know what they're doing. Trust them. Hit off that. I love it. Josh coming through with the Oko kiss, the only emote that you need, and it's true. That's all. That's all you need. Get on it, Magic Online. All right, so here we see round 1 results. Seth Manfield's going to be facing off against Reid Duke, and then on the other side of the bracket, Ethan Lord Tupperware Sachs against NumotTheNummy Kenji Egashira. This is going to be a good one. I think, we see kind of the old guard tending to win out. We see Ben S drops. RIP Ben, Jim. But all right, so my pick is still alive. Seth.
Yes, doing very well,
it, buddy. All right, we're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back with coverage of round 2 of our draft tournament. Thanks so much for being with us here at the JustLolaMan Esports Streamer Showdown. All those words are included in some way or another in what's going on today. Welcome back, everybody, to the Just LolaMan Streamer Showdown, brought to you by Esporter. I'm Jake Brown, aka Uncle Cardboard, joined by Esporter split champion Chad Double D. That's Chad with two D's, and we're gonna jump
Appreciate
right
that.
back
I appreciate that.
into. We've got Lord Tupperware here facing off against Numot, and we've got some action already. Ethan curving out today.
Yeah, you know what? I'm excited to see a couple of red-based decks fighting here. Again, not a color you love to get into necessarily in this format, but when you're there and you're doing the thing, eh, it's a lot of fun.
All right, so we're seeing
Double
mass.
D for double dosage of MTG expertise. Yeah, yeah, yeah. We'll call it that.
That's exactly what it is, and nothing else. Those letters
Yeah.
have never referred to anything else. Here we have Mass Bandits coming down for Kenji. Ethan looking, you've got Rox Pummeler here as an option. Gilded Pinions coming in, a card that I have had surprising success with. Love
Yeah,
to see
looking
it go
pretty
to the.
strong in this matchup. I mean, if Ethan can stay alive here, find a pump of some sort. I don't know what he has in his deck currently, but I mean, this might be over quickly.
Yeah, prize fight with the old shield counter on there. Get some work done.
Yeah, never a bad thing.
He's asking, do I block this? What do I do? You do double block here? What do you don't know how many cards in hand for Kenji? You might have something up the sleeve.
Interesting.
This is a bold block. I guess the shield counter out there. How nervous can you be?
Yeah.
You're also at 12 life. I mean,
Yeah, I just wonder what worst case is if he doesn't block. And how many outs he actually has to potentially win next turn.
you think if there's a combat trick here, he's swinging with more than just the bandits, right?
Yes, you'd think so. Again, we're talking next level magic here,
Yeah.
so you never know. Oh, no
Okay, so
tricks. Just wanted to
manage.
get rid of that shield counter. Oh, nothing for Ethan there on the draw. He got a swing and hope here, right? I'm not sure what Kenji's got going on the other side. We see a Grizzly Sigil and a Dusk Mangler.
Ooh, that Mangler can get him. Oh, but you're just not able to draw into that many
Yeah,
lands.
the
The
Sigil's very
sigil.
good here, though. Gains life, kills the Pummeler, puts Ethan in a really tough spot. Yeah, you're gonna have to top deck something nice here.
Now, do you swing first? There's no way. You're not. If he had a pump spell, he's using it the previous turn. So
Yeah, exactly.
yeah, get your swing in here.
He's gonna follow up with a prize fight. So Kenji's gonna lose 2 creatures, but ultimately Ethan's at 4. Needs to
He's gonna
draw
get that
something
2
here.
2 back off of the goons. But notably, won't gain the life now off of the sigil.
Right. Yes. Yes. Fighting the goon. Yeah. Not the most. I'm just gonna see. Does Ethan have anything that hits face? He does have Mayhem Patrol as a hasty threat.
Blitz it in right here, and
Top
that's
top
game.
deck for the win. Let's see it.
Ends up pointing one of those
Oh.
sigils back at his own token to gain 1,
but it
doesn't.
wouldn't have mattered with the hasty
Yep,
threat.
that
But
was game
Ethan actually
1.
has access to about 6 hasty threats. So no 7, 7. The River Tears decoy as well. So he actually had quite a few outs there, assuming he hadn't played any of them.
That didn't, you do you hate that block still?
It would have made things a lot tighter on the next turn with the attacks, but seeing what happened, yeah, you don't block there, but it's interesting. Yeah.
All right, so what's Kenji up to? Leaving his pinions in the board here. Looking at Mangler and going, that might be a little like that's pretty costly against such a streamlined Gruul deck.
Yeah, and his deck, it's actually quite a low curve, and if he can get get rolling. He might not even need the Dusk Mangler. As strong as that card is, um, it maybe isn't necessary. As
Just
we see
really
a nice
tough.
curve here to start for Kenji. Unreal. Like he's got something potentially on every turn. The light him up, not an ideal 2-drop, but going to answer anything Ethan plays here, which Man Patrol, see you later.
Yeah,
Not mad about it.
it can be really tough to be on the draw against some of these blitz heavier decks because you just
Yes.
feel like you're constantly playing catch up. And
Yes.
here, this Facebreaker is going to be eating some decoys, sadly. Rough.
Yeah, Ethan definitely favored in this matchup, just specifically being on the play. The blitz mechanic is just crazy strong on the play, and so much value. You get the damage and you draw a card. It's been very fun to play with. Got to give Magic or got to give Wizards props on that one. It's been a nice new mechanic for sure.
It really has. All right, so we see Ethan now with Torch Breath in hand. I mean, is Torch Breath a card that you're that excited about in against Jund?
No, I've heard lots of people call it a bad removal spell, which again I in general would agree with. I believe it does have the caveat though that it's not
Kills
is it not
professional muscle
counterable
man or
though?
freelance. That was brutal. Whew. All right, and then top deck's pummeler here. Oh, all right, recruited. And is going to be able to use this Grizzly Sigil with the Rocks Pummeler to get it out of here. Nice little 1-2 punch there.
Yeah.
Ooh, absolutely devastating. And you see the nummy just smiling, just knowing what's about to happen next.
Yeah.
And your shield counter isn't saving you there.
Oh, involuntary employment. What a card. So happy to see it.
I think you called that in the pre-show.
Yes, yes. Something I was looking forward to. Again, when you can find value spots with it, like he just did, it's just so good.
Yeah, and here we've got Lord Tupperware, currently the Lord of Lands, just really
Yeah.
flooding out at the worst
Unfortunately,
possible time.
great start for him, but just, being flooded in any situation is not good.
No,
Um,
Gruul's arguably the worst deck to be able to recover from that. You just
yes.
not a ton
Ooh,
of mana
ominous
sinks.
parcel. Not the best card, but it's gonna come into play here.
Yeah, it's definitely
Kenji
going to
gonna
help him.
gladly 2-for-1 himself into this wrecking crew.
Wrecking Crew gets wrecked here.
Yeah.
I mean, or are you just
He
saying
could opt to
there's
do the strangle as well.
yeah.
Yeah,
And
just
then,
get that thing out of the
Mass
way.
Bandits, that menace is really going to be I, I I don't know if Lord Tupperware is going to have an answer for
Yeah, he's gonna need a clean answer, clean removal spell. Doesn't look like he has it.
prize
That's
fight's
tough.
not going to get him there. Woof.
No.
All right. Quick 2-0. NumotTheNummy
See,
over
and
Lord
again,
Tupperware.
just another example of Red just being a little anemic on the value side, on the catch up side. Um, Kenji having access to that grizzly sigil just showed us the power of different colors and the flexibility, to again steal and sack to gain some life. Basically like a 3-for-1 or whatever that was. Unreal, And green
Pretty.
red just doesn't quite get there. It's smash face, and if that doesn't work, see you later.
All right, we've still got Seth and Reid on the other side of the bracket. If you want to be involved in a fun little limited tournament, check out eSport. What you could do is you could sign up. You get 4 weeks of coaching, gameplay. You get one-on-ones with some mentors that can help you get better at drafting Magic the Gathering. At the end, you get a cool tournament. There's prizes at the end of it. If you do well, you get the bragging rights. You get to be the split champion. You get to take Chad's job. He's out of here. Then he's gone. Then you're in the virtual booth. No, I don't know about that last part, but Just hit the command esporter in chat right now, and you can get 10% off the upcoming split. We're both, alums of esporter. What would you say was the single biggest thing that you took away from your session, your split?
Um, First prize money, absolutely. No. No, you know what? A mixture of the coaches, both like Alex Nikolic, Corticals, he specifically took time that wasn't necessary with a couple of us randomly and like went through some decks, and just very helpful, very friendly. And I think that's what they're going for, the
Oh,
esporter.
Canadians always stick together. Oh, he's so friendly. Great, great, great.
Yeah. But no, even the esporter staff that are involved, like taking extra time out of their days to help that they don't need to, like I said, you just get way more content, way more information, way more help than you pay for. It's just a really great value if you want to, do something different with Magic. um I don't regret it at all. I'd recommend it
The
to
ringing
anybody.
endorsement from Chad. I have no regrets.
Yeah, no, it's better than
All right,
expected.
we're back with Seth Manfield, man of the jerky, the driest beef out there, and looks like this is gonna be over soon.
This
I
is a full-on
mean,
aquarium here. What is happening?
I, you're staring down a couple of unblockable fish, and at one life, I don't care. Broker's Ascendancy on board, losing with Broker's Ascendancy on board has to be one of the worst feelings in all of Straits of New Capenna.
Yes, absolutely. Maybe there
Oh,
should be a clause on the fish that they can block each other. That could be very helpful right now.
I feel like we're gonna officially call that house rules. All apologies to Reid.
Yeah, I've lost way too many times to those darn fish, and I don't know. Just one way to deal with them would be nice.
Oh, and getting in for substantial damage, unfortunately, not good enough. Is going to, you get Seth just scratching the head here, going, "What?
Waiting to see what happens.
Good game?
Yeah,
Okay."
yeah. Seth back to Value Town there again. You just see that Overseer on board. You just know he's got value. It's insane, absolutely insane.
Nothing like the sweet, sweet value of Jack Link's jerky, though. Pick some up at your local
Oh,
7
so hard.
Eleven.
Reid's hand too. Look at, like, he's got
He
value in his hand, but you know,
couldn't turn the corner, though.
yeah.
Yeesh. I would have loved to have seen that earlier. You can, just go back, watch some replays, watch the replay of this. If you're listening to this while you're watching the replay, continue watching this. You can't go further back in time. So we're going to see some sideboard action here. Can we make this a little bit bigger on our back end, please? And thank you. All right. So, we're pretty familiar with Seth's deck at this point. Looking at that crocodile going, maybe. I mean, what are you excited to bring in? You going court officials here? He's got murder sitting in the board. What's happening? Am I taking crazy pills?
Yeah, just that double black, right?
Yeah.
Just obviously love to play murder, but again, Seth doesn't need it though. He's got the value. Value is a strategy, and it's working so far.
So far, so good. Looking for answers. He's got bury your witness. Buy your silence. What do I say? Bury your witness. That feels very, Streets of New Capenna flavor wise.
Yeah, it does, absolutely.
So buy your silence, really the only answer this deck has for Broker's Ascendancy, right?
Yes, I believe that's true. Yep.
Oof. All right.
But as we
So
saw in game one, don't need to.
yeah, just
It can stay as
stay a
long as it
little bit
wants.
faster than Reid Duke here, and hope that that's going to take you there. He's already got a 1-0 lead here in round 2 of the JustLolaMan streamer showdown. We gonna be able to get Lola in here. I want to find out what happened.
Yeah. His deck looks so good.
I know it looked so good. Oh, Coca-Cola, real magic. All right, so here we got Lucky coming down. Backup agent, one of my favorite 2 drops out there.
Yeah, again, just fine as a 2 mana 2/2. The counter on it is helpful for a lot of cards. Um, just turns on your fish to be 2/2s, which we've seen on both sides. Both have access to the little fish, so
Got some bruiser coming down now. If they can get, one more counter and that bruiser's doing work.
overseer into overseer, like I don't even know. I don't even know anymore. Like, no wonder Jim struggled. Like, how do you beat that?
You really need at least a celestial regulator, something that can beef up against these overseers. You're just looking at 4 damage a turn in the air without much recourse. All right, that's gonna get Reid Forest. Not bad. Okay, so has the potential to ascend.
Yeah,
Now it just
without
needs
seeing,
to.
I assume that this is similar to what happened in game one, right? Um, Seth building up a pretty strong board, getting in for damage early, and that's when ascendancy is not good. Is when you're behind. Um, sure, strong creatures are great, but if you're at 5 life, it's not very useful. So,
Not at all. Does
so
have the initiate, which combined with an ascendancy can get you back in things pretty quickly. But these bruisers just look kind of. I mean, holding down the fort,
yep.
but you got to hold down the skies too.
Yeah, and the initiate's great because, well, it's gonna sleep
Was
with the
great.
fishes now,
R.I.P.
but it makes it so that your opponent can only attack with one flyer, because you swing back with the life link and it nullifies, both overseers. So it would have made it a little bit awkward for Seth, but as we
I
saw,
mean,
sleeping with the fishes is gonna be the way it goes. So
the sleep kind of bums me out there. I'm looking to get dig up the body involved here. If I can get one of those overseers as my dug, the body that I dug up, I'm pretty excited. And honestly, this lackey's got to go. No one cares about this lackey. I'd
yeah.
much rather be able to cash that in for a fish soon.
Yeah, right now though, I mean, with that hold for ransom being played,
Little chat looks
dig
really
up the
good
body
right
looking
here.
pretty valuable. So, oh, gonna
Woo!
go with a little chat though. Interesting.
Chat it
I
up.
do I do like it though. Better value at this moment than dig up the body. Can easily save that at instant speed if needed.
I think he's going server here. I like
Yeah,
that a
yeah.
lot.
Flyers very valuable in this matchup. Reid has access to quite a few, but just he's not seeing them. So
Yeah, Reid really needs that second counter to come down so those bruisers can start doing some work because right now
yeah.
they are just sitting there.
Yep. Value town for Seth again. Um, like look at Seth's board. Everything on his board, dead or alive, has value. And other than, well, the scarab at this point doesn't need it for fixing, but
But
his whole
still, I
board.
mean, it's given you at least a part of a card out of that. And, Reid here, draws another land, just is sad, sad city.
Now, I don't know about you, but I have never seen anybody gain 6 with Speakeasy server. Um, just
Oh, another
another
land
point
off
to
the
tell
top for
us.
Reid.
Yeah, yeah.
Absolutely devastating. I mean, dig up the body just as a why not? Make a fish,
Yeah,
go to
I've got
town.
nothing better to do, so let's get some more value. Um,
Yeah, definitely. Oh, and overseer? Why not? What else are we gonna get out of here? Oh, another
oh, oh,
overseer or
oh,
a
another overseer with
speakeasy
a
server?
shield. Yeah, let's
What do you
gain 9
want?
this time. Yikes! You know,
Absolutely devastating.
Seth looking like a good pick here for you, Jake. I think he might go all the way at this rate.
Let's see. I mean, I think if you had just told me I can take the person with the most overseers at the table at the start of this, I would have felt pretty good about
Yeah,
my pick.
yeah.
Does make another speakeasy server, and without access to a hostile takeover, this is going to be
Hey,
well,
good start. Probably one of his
okay.
best draws, if not
Oversee
the best
just
draw.
Chain together another and another
Oh,
and
the
that's
good
the
game
good
coming
game
out.
from Reid Duke. Seth Manfield
Oh,
on to the finals to face NumotTheNummy, Kenji Egashira. Thanks everybody for tuning in. So far, we are just about to get to the finals of the JustLolaMan Streamer Showdown, sponsored by eSporter. I'm Jake Brown, aka Uncle Cardboard. I'm a limited contributor for Star City Games. We've got Chad here, former eSporter bracket champion. Tell me a little bit more. Would you go back and do another split with eSporter? Is it something that you feel like you can kind of stack? And are there some coaches like, if Jim Davis were to be, for example, one of your, coaches, mentors, what have you, that'd be somebody that you would come back in and do another one for.
yeah, I think they're esports is really good. They've had lots of different coaches, some recurring ones that obviously have been popular.
They also had Deathsea, so let's not give them too much credit.
Hey, it's all about variety. You gotta play to the crowd. No, I think there's always going to be value in going back. Whether it's you're going to ask different questions, meet different people, play different formats. I have honestly thought about doing it more and more, but life's busy as it is, and it's tough to do everything. But no,
You just moved, you got a fiance, you're young and in
yeah,
love. Don't, just
yeah,
take a
yeah.
couple more off so other people can win.
That's right. That's right. Yeah, no, but great program they have going. The kind of thing you sit around and you're like, I wish I had something else to do with Magic. I wish I had more tournaments to play. And I mean, they started up when, the pandemic was very much causing us to isolate more, that kind of stuff. A great virtual way to get involved with other people, compete. Again, high level tournaments are always a blast. Put
Yeah,
something on the line at the top. It's so much more fun.
you
Um,
love to see it, and honestly, just not a ton of ways to get out there and oh shoot, this is double elimination. We're not to the finals yet. We got more Magic to play, ladies and
yeah, I
gentlemen.
was gonna ask
Uh,
what the stitch was there, but yeah, more
all
Magic.
right, well, I just found out I was fired, but Ben S is on fire here. Look at him go. Uh,
Ben S
saw
rocking the
jacking.
beard these days, and I'm here for it. You
I
know,
think Ben just wants one length of hair on his entire body, and fascinating choice to
yeah,
hedgehog.
absolutely.
We're excited. Here we've got. Is he brushing his teeth? What's happening? Is that just the way
What?
he talks? Okay. Here we've got JustLolaMan going to the air. We saw the Echo Inspectors in the draft portion. We're excited about them.
Yeah, again,
Here,
again,
facing down a
accruing value.
Sawjack, maybe not that exciting. When we were looking at the deck list before or just right after the draft, we said, is Incandescent Aria going to make it in there? Here it is. Is it going to do work?
Yeah, interesting. Right now it's looking like a bit of uh
Ass.
yeah, it's hurting you more than it's helping you. And I think if this is game, I'm guessing that Ben's going to side it out. Lola
Yes.
has access to a ton of four toughness creatures, so um, definitely
This is
not a
the
card you're
worst
gonna.
kind of one-sided board wipe where it's just your side.
Yeah, yeah, um,
Torch Breath looks great in this matchup, though. Very excited to see that here. Are you more
yeah. Very good
concerned?
against blue. Yeah.
Yeah, are you more concerned about kind of the long-term effects of Augur, and you can just kind of pick that off here, or are you more looking to, deal with Echo Inspector?
So not seeing all of the draw spells in Lola's hand right now. Um, Echo Inspector can be blocked by the Sawjack as well,
Yeah,
so
you got
not
the
as big of a
Sawjack for a
threat.
reason.
Um, again, the auger being unanswered, from my experience, is it's so game breaking. So I think even not knowing the hand that's happening there, I think you get rid of it now. If you knew you had two fake your own deaths as well, you'd fire it off right this second. Um, but we'll see. We'll see what Ben decides to do. Attacking again and with this saw jack is to me interesting. I'm gonna trade off with the Echo Inspector anyways. So
Yeah, you get your Echo
one way or
inspected.
another. Again, being at Lola at 10, obviously Ben's trying to push that damage.
Yeah.
And to push that damage, you got to get rid of the life gains. So Torch Breath right now is the play. He just has to pay 2, I believe, because that is a blue creature.
Yep.
Oh, okay. We have to put 4.
You got to declare. You still have to set the number. I have done terribly with that.
Confusing.
Also, fun surprise. My fiance just brought me a full thing of fried chicken to eat on stream. Chat, you want to see me just totally house 6 pieces of fried chicken? Sound off.
That looks delicious.
It truly is not. It is the most grocery store of chicken. I could not be more excited. But it's really chat's will if you want me to be just taking down what is a bucket of chicken essentially. Here we have another. See, you think you deal with Echo Inspector, and then you just keep hearing them and hearing them and hearing them.
Yeah. Lola's deck doing what I kind of thought it would. Like dropping 2 court officials next turn, like give me your last 2 cards, drawing more cards, like so much going on. Struggling a bit with his mana. He's only got 1 black, which is a little awkward, but we'll see. We'll see. This game still could go in either way. Unleash the Inferno, very powerful card.
Unfortunately, doesn't pick up an artifact or enchantment. Oh, wait, it does.
Yeah,
Nice.
yeah. So very good turn here for Ben.
Huh.
Kind of. Wow, he takes it. Okay.
I would be tempted to just try and get rid of that. Your civil is it civil servant? No, civic gardener here. It dies to Arya anyway. What are you holding on to?
Yeah. So unfortunately, Ben's gonna have to. Oh no, he doesn't have double black. Okay. The Arya here might not be the worst, but obviously knowing Lola's hand is just gonna get bounced anyways.
Another corrupted court official in hand. So really, you play out Glittermonger, you're losing that Arya.
Yeah, no, still looking pretty good on Ben's side though. He just got so much pressure to that 6 life total. And really, Ben could opt to play the Arya still, right? Especially seeing this, he could go. Well, it makes things very awkward. Actually, he's got access to 7, so he could go Monger, Arya, but chooses not to. So Arya probably going to come out of his hand this turn. Well, there goes the chicken. What flavor do we got happening over there?
It's just plain chicken, ladies and gentlemen.
Hey, if it's good, it's good.
But it makes a good crisp. Okay, so we see another out of the way. A lot of good interaction here. You gotta wonder what's Ben holding on to, and be so tempted by that corrupt court official.
Yeah, but if he's holding on to 2 lands, it just seems so wasteful with other options here.
Totally. You're sitting there staring at it going, okay, I've got to case the joint, so I'm going to eventually get there. How can I stabilize?
Yeah, Lola's got a lot of work to do to come back.
Seraph's going to be nice to at least give a little bit of more flexibility. You really needed that second black source to be able to.
Yeah. Part of me wonders if he fires off the case the joint here and now, tries to get a second land. Be able to double spell here might be his best option.
Definitely thinking about it. Now, no timeouts remaining. Getting to got to make a decision time.
Yeah, I'd be really tempted to case the joint here on main step here, and
looks like that's what's going to happen. We see case the joint. Now you have to hit an untapped land, and it happens.
And Ob.
gets
Sweet.
there, gets the corrupt court official, which is going to
Yeah.
have that Aria. I don't think there's a world where you can let the builder go.
No, not at this point in the game.
Just too
If the
much
board
pressure.
state was a little different, if he knew Ob was in hand, he might keep the Arya. But he doesn't have that luxury. So if Lola can find a red source, untapped red source, I don't know if he has untapped red sources, but if he could, next turn could be an absolute blowout. Powering up a court official, sacking it to Ob, getting the last card out of the hand, getting three loyalty Obs. Like, sounds lovely, but got to find that red source first.
Wow. Okay, so
Very interesting.
pitches keeping the Aria alive, going,
Yeah.
hey, need to be thinking about my long-term plays here.
Yeah, again, I think that card did its job. So nothing. Oh, he can fire off the briefcase here. I love that. That's something you don't see very
Interesting.
often. Well done.
And can use the
Oh, it
gardener
doesn't
to
draw a
untap
land.
uh untap Monger and make
Huh.
another if he wants.
I can't believe he didn't draw land there. He could have played another spell.
Absolutely brutal. I think he's gonna try and
Oh, he can untap a land. Look at
put,
that.
untap a land, make it happen.
Big brain Ben, as we call him.
Gonna do the worm. All right. Just says, hey,
Interesting.
let's
Reset the board. I love that. That's so. I mean, yep. Ben S is good at magic, ladies and gentlemen. Believe it or not.
update. Very good guy. Still great. All right. So we're looking at potential obnixels in the future.
Yeah,
You got to
very
get
very awkward mana for Lola right here. Really nothing going his way currently. Unfortunately, like double black would have been good. Getting a red source would have been great. He does have access to double black through the Seraph, but very very mana intensive to do that. So,
okay. So you get out
but
of the way. I mean, there's nothing really good to bounce out of the way either. I mean, Ben's
not
just
currently.
loaded with gas.
Yeah, yeah.
So I'm probably getting rid of
Um,
Arsonist here. I know it's really tempting to hold on to it considering 6 life.
Arsonist and Monger goes well together though. He can just keep firing it off, right? So,
Yep.
um, if if Lola doesn't find an answer to it, it's just or to one of them, which currently he doesn't have. So, um, maybe the Riveteers, but that's also two bodies. Um, can't get rid of Rocco. Rocco's a cool card.
Yeah, Rocco's your modern life here.
Yeah, great show. One of my favorites
All
as a
right.
kid, actually.
So
Um,
it looks like the plan might just be to double spell with the brazen and arsonist and get a
yeah,
couple bodies out there. And then Rocco something.
yeah. I'm not sure what he has for 4 drops, but he could Glittermonger into Rocco for 4 and get something. But um, we'll leave that up to Ben to show us what's right. Um, the element of surprise. But certainly, yeah, double spelling is great. Got to be a little careful double spelling because the court officials, like he knows there's lots of them and access to getting more. So
There
we'll
you
see.
go. Here we have, just grabbing a tapped land.
Very, very good version of Riveteers here for Ben, actually. The one of the families that you really try to avoid. But he's got all the pieces. He's got the big creatures. He's got the value engines. Um, it's cool. It's cool to see with all those briefcases, like so much card draw potential.
And now we're looking at. So I think that there is a temptation. You see your opponent 6, and you're like, let's rush in. Ben taking some time, really breaking it down. Can we
He never
unmute
does
him? Can I
that.
hear what Ben is just like passionately ranting about? Okay, he is gonna double spell here.
Yeah.
And I
Hey,
think he's
I'd be tempted to just keep that land in hand. Rocco's just so good. You don't want to. Yeah, he is going to. Yeah, yeah. Smart guy. I tell you.
you know, I think Rocco's was a little bit of like a nervous play there too, because anytime somebody's got a blue and one up against me, I'm just waiting for either disdainful stroke or
Right.
make disappear. It's so double spelling there at least gives him like, okay, I'm gonna get one of these things through.
So notably, Ben's timer has appeared for us, which is very interesting. Not surprising with what we know about him, but hey, add a little drama to the mix. Let's see it. Looks like that
Mm-hmm.
arsonist is going to get put back into Ben's hand. Obviously, it's an immediate threat to 6 life points. So,
Well, arsonist, you can only bounce something for 2 of its green, so
oh, true. So hitting the monger, yeah, makes sense. Gets to draw a card though, so hopefully it's another blue source.
the blue source. Newsy. That Newsy's gonna be
Newsy,
on.
Newsy, great. Right now, just again the life gain. Maybe start with Seraph. Get that life buffer to start, and maybe start pushing some damage. But might opt to do Newsy and hold up Fake Your Own Death. A lot of good can happen with that as well.
Just gonna
Opting
go
for the
right
Seraph
in for
though.
that Seraph and knows that damage is there if he wants to take it. Get that
Yeah,
buffer to
so
your life total. Makes
little.
feel a little bit better with that arsonist on board.
Yeah. Oh no, he's opting other. Not sure what he's deciding. Okay, going Newsy, hold
I'm
up,
not eating
Fake Your
secret
Own Death.
chicken.
Makes a lot of sense. Playing Seraph also makes your mana worse. Um, so probably better this way. All right, here we go. Ben has joined Value Town, top decking an Overseer. Never mad about that. Probably one of the targets for Rocco though, so it'd be interesting to see what he does do with Rocco once he plays.
Yeah, looking at
But I mean, he could go Glittermonger. He could do Riveteers. Um, that sacks a land. You can sack the treasure to pay for one of your spells. Can you find a third source of sacrifice to kill that newsy?
yeah, you would just have to sack one of your lands, play your land that sacks itself, and sack the treasure. That's 3.
Right.
And you've
Interesting. I
got a
had
few.
somebody do this with one of these lands with the arsonist, and I didn't realize how strong it actually is.
He's just gonna go
Okay.
for
Opting for the
one and
unofficial.
see. He's gonna get that fake your own death right here.
Yeah, interesting. I think Lola might hold on to it. I think there's so much value with that lifelink happening with Newsy. I think he's got to save it.
And you've got to assume that one of Ben's cards is a land, right? At this point.
Yeah, you could reasonably assume that. And also, if the card he discards is Glittermonger, Ben's not sad about discarding Glittermonger, you know?
Right.
And it's gonna feel real
It's
bad if
done
you
it for
see
him.
Glittermonger hit the bin because you know you're in trouble. And that's what would happen. Is his other 2 cards are just much better. Long
Totally.
term, Glittermonger, of course, has value with Arsonist, but yeah, so opting to save it. Probably going to block Fake Your Own Death here, gain some life. Um, keep,
And
keep
then
keep himself in the game.
needs to get this treasure token so he can get Ob on board.
Oh, I didn't. Yeah, good call. Yeah, the treasure token, huge. See, like that's just an example of where that's so powerful. Um, going to be able to play Ob Nixilis. I don't know if he's going to want to sack the Newsy, but we'll see. The Newsy's so strong with lifelink right now, the way the game's been going. So
And
got
was able to kind of get a little bit of information there off of the corrupt court official and go, oh, if I do play this fake your own death, it's not just going to get on my newsy, it's not going to get removed in response.
yeah, exactly.
All right. Coming down to it. And you got to think if you're in Ben's shoes, you're going, okay, so instead of playing the Seraph, you just run out a newsie on me. What's the
Mm-hmm.
deal here? Okay, just gain the life
Right,
before
yeah. So Ben
dumping.
probably saw the fake your death coming. He's you know, quote unquote smart. So um, you know, I'm sure. The other thing too though, you wouldn't want to trade the Seraph for that 4-2 either, right? So
Sure.
another reason the Newsy is a little bit better. Um some you might see Seraph into Ob, maybe get a bigger Ob, um, or play it once your board's more stable. Um, Interesting.
Definitely turning around for Lola.
Yeah, this is not the point you want to play Obnick's list, and unfortunately, that's kind of the downfall of the card. Is um, it's good on turn 3, but really not any other time. So he opts to sacrifice the Newsy, which I wasn't necessarily expecting. Um, Not able to play Seraph as well, so gonna get 2 devils.
All right, so double devils here. Oh
Oh,
no.
oh, come on.
Devastating draw
Oh,
from Ben Stark.
oh, I got Rocco. I've got Overseer. Maybe a good top deck would be nice.
Was
How
he
about my
just waiting for
bomb?
10 mana for Rocco so he could go fetch the Titan?
Kind of looks that way. Hey, that's sick. This game's over. I mean, Lola's got a lot going on in his deck, but Titan of
Doesn't have
Industry
Titan
is
worth.
no Titan is so good.
I mean, one of the best, if not uh, the best bomb rares.
Yeah, again, one of the rares from this set that has also been played a lot in Constructed, right? So, um, when you see that, you know that it's a good card if you didn't know already.
All right, it's just one to the face off the dead devil here, and
Slamming
he's
the
going
Titan,
for it.
yeah, and
And that
not playing
Titan
any
is
around.
going to easily resolve.
Does Lola didn't pick up any strokes, so he couldn't even I don't even think he has anything to play around. So
Wow, opts to gain the 5 instead of taking the
yeah, so the shield counter again with those devils existing obviously aren't very good, right?
sure.
So with nothing else to target, 5 life, I guess being the option.
All right, so gets
So
to do a tainted indulgence here. Draw a couple. Look for the answers. Obviously, with Titan trampling, there's
Lone
only so much
Spectre.
you're going to be able to pull off. Gets a mountain, which is dead at this point.
Now are we in game 2 here, or is this still game 1?
That is a great question, and one to which I do not have an. Do I have an answer? This is game 1.
I just don't see any. Oh, we can't see Ben's little thing, so maybe it is game 2.
I would just like to say RIP to Quente, who is our first O2 out, dropping to Jim Davis. 2-0. Thank you for doing this. I don't know why you wanted to do this. Bless your heart. You tried hard. And I think that's what esporter is all about.
Yeah, I mean it's about getting more experience, right? Playing against like more experienced people. On the ladder, you get what you get. It's a
Isn't
it's a
that the
big
truth?
for better or for worse. Yeah, this must be game 2. Ben's got his things blocked there, but with 6.5 minutes remaining, I don't think Ben's that slow. So we'll be looking forward to game 3 here pretty soon. I think it's not over yet, but definitely in favor of Ben. That Titan 7/7 trample is pretty effective.
And it I I mean, if he's not worried about timing out, then you're going to be able
Oh,
to overseer, you're going to be able to trade in that briefcase for 3 more cards. I mean,
he's
this
calm, cool,
is
and collected. Look at him. He's commentating. He's doing everything.
Doesn't care
Don't
about
matter.
Obnixilis at this point.
No.
Obnixilis obsolete.
Yeah, and I don't blame him. Get this game over before Lola can, stabilize it. I don't know if his deck's capable of that now, but um, yeah, Obnixilis not looking like much of a threat at this point, especially when he can continue to ping it with the Arsonist as well. So the +1s are really irrelevant at this point.
Yeah, keep knocking it down.
Yeah. And Ben
Right.
just going to play the rest of his cards. Won't have to discard anything either.
Can
Um,
Ben
oh, just killing obs right now. No problem.
said bye, buddy. I hope you find your dad.
Crazy.
And
Just
firing.
just raw power coming from Ben this game. I mean, I don't know that he's played a card that hasn't been impactful.
Island off the top doesn't look like it's going to get it there for Lola. We'll see if Ben wants to take 5 to 7 minutes to think about his next attack, but otherwise it looks like it has. He's got this in the bag.
Yeah. Yeah, it's lots of options here considering he has a swamp in hand.
Lots of
He's got
options. No
multiple
Obnixilis.
lands to sack to draw. He can sack his briefcase because Ben apparently is running a 5-color deck, which you might not understand looking at his deck list, but he actively has 5 colors. Oh, there we go.
If anybody would, it'd be him, and that is
Yeah.
going to do it. Ben S taking 2-0.
So we don't even get to see if the timer would have been a factor, and that's unfortunate. We
Yeah,
always
'cause-
like to see alternate win cons in this world, and he almost got there.
Almost
He
got
really
there.
did. He really
Truly
tried.
won.
It might be the only time we see the hourglass appear. So props to Ben for that, taking the win and taking the side
Our
quest
hearts.
our hearts, taking the side quest.
All right,
Haven't decided what his prize is, but yeah,
it will be awarded though. Guarantee you
yeah,
that.
yeah.
We
Working on it.
so Ben S advances. He's going to go on to face Reid. The
My
battle,
champion is officially eliminated. Sad.
and that such is life. If you're here, you're watching this. This is the if you're here, you're watching this. Perfect.
True.
We are doing the streamer showdown courtesy of JustLolaMan. It's presented by Esporter. Esporter is a really kind of fascinating new way that you can engage with limited content. If you've been doing drafts for a while and you're looking at something new and fun to do. There aren't a ton of like high stakes limited tournaments out there. Bums me out all the time. You get an arena open every once in a while or a qualifier weekend, but at the end of the day, I mean, it seems like they're getting worse and worse. Here, you do a fun tournament. It's the result of 4 weeks of really cool coaching, mentorship sessions, one-on-ones, some really cool ways to improve your game. And if you would like to check it out, just use the command esporter in chat now. It'll get you 10% off if you want to sign up for the next session where Just Lolaman and Corticals are going to be running the show. They're going to be talking to you about how to get better. Here, we're going to go back to Jim Davis versus Ethan Sachs, aka Lord Tupperware. What is going on here?
Life tools are 4-4. This is we're jumping in at a very tense moment.
Ooh,
Both players top
is that
decking.
an out of? Sorry, it's so small.
Yeah, run out of town. So
Run out of
both
town. Run them
both
out. Run them out.
players in top deck mode, but run out of town huge here. Actually keeps Jim Davis alive. We'll see what Lord Tupperware draws. But as of right now, Jim's life total
with the
is
flying roast master. Just bouncing
flying.
something to the top makes
Oh, plasma
lethal.
jockey off the top. That is nasty.
Yikes.
That is GG. Or wait,
You just gotta bounce it pre-combat. Even then, you're gonna take one.
you still take 4. I think.
Yeah, you're gonna take the
Because
ping
you
off
lose your
the.
1. Or you could bounce, but then you're taking the trample damage from the wrecking crew.
You're. I think us. We're sitting here like Jim, going, "Is there a way?" Because it feels like there might be.
Yeah.
And then you do the math, and it just becomes increasingly desperate.
Yeah, sometimes you can chalk it up to simple math, right? It's you know, Jim's really thinking about it here, but Ethan is very bound to determine that he's got this win based on that
Look at
look.
the intensity there.
Yeah, yeah. He's like, does he have a counter? Does he have a counter? Does he have a counter? It's like the only well, even a counter wouldn't do it here, right? You would need a bounce and a counter, or two bounces, or
A bounter,
Jim,
as
Jim,
they
Jim.
say.
Yeah, yeah. Jim scoops it up, anyways. Not surprising. Yeah, just those those uh those swings with blitz, and that the plasma jockey especially, that the mode of making something so it can't block is just so powerful.
Yeah, we've seen it over and over again. You know, whether it's the territorial hammer skulls of the world, anytime that you're just nullifying a blocker, especially hasty, it's rough.
Yeah,
And Blitz truly is doing its best work in those scenarios. I mean, at the point where you're, you know, rocking with a plasma jockey, sizzling soloist, what are they supposed to do?
yeah. We've received a very generous raid from Seth Manfield, 81
Seth, thank you
people.
for the raid.
Your champion himself, coming in with the support. Appreciate that. That
What
must mean
happened
he's
with
done for
Seth's
the day.
match? Oh no, I've hit the wrong button. We're going back in time. Well,
These new viewers have made you nervous. I understand.
oh no. All right, let's go to game two of Jim Davis and Lord Tupperware.
So is
All right,
Seth into
so
day two? Like, do these two pods join up afterwards? Is that how we to the final playoff?
yeah, I mean that would have been that's a huge bummer because Seth was my pick. All
Yeah,
right,
he was
everybody in the
rolling,
Seth raid,
rolling.
just know that was my boy too. Now
Yeah,
what's going on?
I mean, don't get me wrong, huge Seth supporter after seeing the value town of his deck, but um, yeah, I unbeatable.
All right, well, we're going to kick things off. Jim looking to tie it all up at one apiece.
Jim's hand a little awkward, very slow. Um, we've seen this with his deck before. Just top four from each pod move to the finals Thursday, as reported by the one and only Michael Chiunte.
Okay. Well, then,
We can trust him. He needs to know what's going on. So
all right, we are okay. So we're playing for keeps here. Let's see. We're just trading lands now. Jim loves to see that theater. Gives him a blue source. Love that for his hand. He's doing a little bit of
yeah,
everything today.
yeah, his hand has a lot of potential. It's just a matter of can he get going before missed land on the other side. That's not good.
But Jim's deck not necessarily able to take advantage here.
Yeah, not at this point. So again, fortunately for Ethan, an okay time to miss a land drop, but it's gonna be an upward battle from here.
Ethan keeping the one lander. You love to see it.
Yeah, he actually in the first split that we were in, he taught that in one of the sessions. He said always keep a one lander. It is very very productive in draft.
Interesting. All right.
Just kidding. He
So,
didn't say that. I will not promote that kind of thing.
all
That being
right. So
said,
he did mull
though,
the six.
as we see Ethan's hand, very, very aggressive, lots of two drops. Can't blame him for keeping one lander on the draw.
So I'm curious. We don't see the masked men on that last end of turn for Ethan. Masked bandits could have been, pitched for fixing, but what do you need? Do you really need double black?
Are you talking on Jim's side?
Yeah, on Jim's side.
Yeah. Um, he might be just trying not to give away information as well.
Yeah.
Um,
Sometimes you're gonna
I've
you're
found
gonna play it
myself
close to the
not
chest.
throwing down the fixing for that reason in a lot of matchups. If my mana is decent already,
Sure.
the less information, the better.
And a big sigh of relief as Jim hits,
Hits a fourth land.
but can't cast his rocks.
Oh no!
Somebody call security.
Oh, punished. But again, not the worst thing. He's got other plays, thankfully. But yeah, you could tell he's regretting
At
that
some
decision a
point,
little
it's
bit.
not information; they're real cards.
Yep.
Chad, you gotta do it. You gotta
Absolutely.
make moves. Jim hoisted on his own petard. Gonna reveal. It's no, can't do it. All right, hold up, run out of town, just in case something weird happens here.
So this is extra awkward because if he's gonna want to bounce something, he's still stuck without that extra red or green source.
All right, so Ethan here
Oh, what a
playing the
predicament!
Jewel Thief.
Now, if we happen to
Remains
get an
mana
interview with
neutral.
Jim at some point, we're gonna have to ask him his general thoughts on this situation.
Shame, shame,
He's put
shame.
himself in quite the predicament, but I like it. Keep things interesting.
Deal gone bad. Mill self.
Oh, good
Still
draw, but
can't
not.
rocks.
Any land would have been good there. Yikes.
Really needs. Well, okay, so we've got Ethan pulls another land. Gonna go Jewel Thief here, probably. And then could security rocks off of the treasures? No,
I'm
just
going
gonna
with the
go
Roast Master, trying to get that life total down ASAP.
Toasty Roasty. Gonna go back to the top. Okay.
Oh.
This man.
uh,
This man's
just
being punished. I just want
needs
to
a rinse.
chat, please know. The magic gods.
Again, as a person that hasn't played Security Rocks at all, and just looking at the card, it's not great. I'm a little bit surprised he's playing it, but you know,
I think
obviously this one situation makes it look bad, but
I mean, 4 toughness in general feels like it plays better than I thought it would at the beginning
it
of the
does
format.
absolutely.
But
Yeah.
at this point,
I
all
was
right,
looking
so
at
we see
Jim's deck
bandits and calling
list.
a professional here. I'm just gonna keep running it out.
Oh, I guess I could have killed it. That might not have been bad, but oh, Ethan puts to the bottom. Oh, good draw.
The
Never
call
mad
goes
to
to the
see the
face.
takeover. Oh, for the win.
Yeah,
Didn't even
forget.
see the
You
life
always forget.
total.
Call does go to the face.
Oh, who needs green mana? Who needs red mana?
Oh, all right. So, not much in the board here. You kind of just have to run it back.
Unfortunate for Ethan there, he got a little stuck, and the bounces in that situation really punish not having enough mana, right? So if you can't double spell and you keep getting bounced, you're just stuck. And with run out of town, do you put it back on the top or do you try to get another land to get some velocity going? But
It's
Ethan
it feels
also with a security rock stuck in his hand. Interesting. The security
the battle
rock's
of
really
rocks.
doing its job.
All
On
right,
itself,
back for
which
game 3. This is the rubber match. Ethan playing lands this time. So is Jim. Look at this.
Jim with his patented hearse here.
Yep.
Never mad to see it. Actually has a nice hand here. Nice controlling, grindy hand. Really going to be able to shut down Ethan on the early turns. So,
and we haven't caught up with Ethan's hand yet. No big deal. We talked
problem.
a little bit earlier about how 1-for-1 removal just tends to be a little gnarly. Let's see how it plays out in this match because we're seeing a lot of it on Jim's side. So where is he going to pull his value from? Will he see a hostile takeover? Does Jim have a hostile takeover?
Yeah, again with Jim's deck, he's just trying to play the long game, right? He's not a super aggressive deck. Eliminate the opponent's threats, get some stuff on board, and hopefully hostile takeover can finish the job late. And especially against a fairly aggressively slanted Gruul matchup, you just want to stay alive, and 1-for-1 removal is still good at that, right? It's still killing the big threats. And
Run out of town looking great here, where these +1/+1 counters are they're gonna go away.
Yeah, bounce extra punishing against tokens, against counters. Run out of town turns into a full removal here. Ethan's never going to keep it on top, right? So
Bye bye.
yeah.
Bye
So he
bye.
did keep it on top. Never mind. I was
Wow.
incorrect. A little bit surprising to me. Um, I mean, there's just a lot better draws than Riveteer's Outlook, but I guess again, just trying to push that damage as fast as possible.
Okay, so we're seeing doesn't exile anything from his own yard with the hearse here. Certainly an option. Can't crew.
Yeah, as we know, Jim's deck has access to a lot of stuff to grab from the graveyard, so doesn't want to punish himself if he doesn't have to. And right now, the hearse really not an attacking or blocking threat. So
If you hadn't been here earlier, we do know Jim's rocking with a Cormella, so definitely can recur some spells. Has the dig up body in hand. Definitely some options.
yeah, and really just Jim with his hostile takeover in deck, trying to survive, try to find the hostile takeover, literally take over the game with that, and dig up the body for the stuff you lost. And I'm very interested to
Libation.
see what Ethan draws next turn, to see what he would have had versus keeping his 2-drop. I totally get where he's trying to go here. He's just trying to push damage, and with that libation, um, assuming Jim doesn't have any removal to use in response, is going to be quite strong. So
And yet, he does.
yes,
This is game 3. We know that Jim's playing at instant speed. He
yeah,
wants he wants the smoke.
yeah, very very fun. I like Jim's deck for that reason. The instant speed in this format is very strong. Especially if you
Yeah,
ever get
especially
lucky and get an Evelyn into the mix. A flash rare bomb is never a bad thing either. So gonna roll with
yeah.
the Chrome Cat here, protect his life total. Jim looking very secure right now.
Ooh.
Ethan doesn't really have a lot of threats in hand
No,
at the moment. So
you're talking about instant speed removal, and yet we're looking at a light 'em up across the board that, not doing much. Would have been really nice to be able to, fire that off end of turn.
yeah, yeah,
Big
Light Up will take care of
libation.
the Chrome Cat. Be interested to see how the rest plays out. He can definitely bait Jim into blocking with the um, with the hearse and kill it with libation. So um, going to be a pretty good turn for Ethan.
He can also just,
Um,
death touch it. I'd gladly, trade the initiate
right? Yeah, you
for.
don't have to use libation yet. That's true. Probably not the worst. Um,
But I mean, that's where it really needs to start protecting this life total because
yeah,
libation, you just let one of those go by and
yeah. Ethan
shields are
probably you're probably
down.
right. Ethan will probably opt to either death touch or just not attack yet. Keep that libation for when it's actually lethal.
All right, so gonna swing here. Just get him down. Oh, and then the roasty. This is looking pretty. I'm not happy right now if I'm Jim.
Not happy, but I mean, lots of good draws. That's not one
I'm
of
trying to
them.
fit
Maestro's
something.
Charm going to keep him alive for the meantime. He obviously doesn't know about the libation, but um, might opt to dig up the body, try to get a creature down. Um,
Yeah, on the flip side, I mean, we'll
he's
see what he had. Definitely needs to be able to crew up that hearse, but then you're cooked to libation here.
yeah, Ethan's hand looking very strong here. Double roast master, like I said before, is just so powerful. It's a lot of pings really fast. So
All right.
looking like it's Lord Tupperware's game here. He'll just fire off the libation on whoever is not targeted, and should be GG. Um,
Jim is holding back.
Very unfortunate. I think Jim's deck, has a lot of potential, but um, just
And
unfortunate
libation
draws.
saved.
Covers his eyes. He knows it's coming. Oh yeah, this
Yeah.
just blocks the charm as well. I forgot it wasn't a total removal is just damage. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean the nice thing is that Ethan there just gets there on board,
Yeah.
doesn't need the libation.
Exactly. Yeah, shoulder shrug from Jim. I mean, what can you do, right? It's and even the ping off of the token.
All right, so the hearse not enough to get it there. Congratulations to Lord Tupperware advancing on to Thursday for the finals.
Yeah, so we spoke about Gruul not being so strong, but again, the right combination of cards, the aggressive slant. I mean, it can really get you there. So
all right, let's go. I'm gonna move over, make sure that we're sharing, because sharing is caring on Meet. All right, who are we seeing next? All right, we're gonna move over to Reid, Duke, and Ben S.
two
for our
absolute
final spot.
juggernauts in Magic the Gathering draft and limited and constructed and all kinds of things. Both Hall of Famers, I believe, if I'm not mistaken.
And all right, so this is for our final seat on Thursday. Is that correct?
That looks to be the case, I believe. Yeah, it looks like probably 3 from the bottom and then 1 from the top seed there. So
All right, so far in punching their finals tickets, Seth Manfield, NumotTheNummy, and Lord Tupperware. We're excited to see exactly how this is going to pan out for Thursday. Thank you so much to eSporter for sponsoring. If you want to get better at drafting Magic the Gathering, well, sign up for eSporter. You can hit the command in chat, eSporter. It'll give you 10% off for any upcoming classes. Couldn't be here without them. Thanks so much, guys, for having us. It's been a blast. All right. Looks like we're gonna move on to Ben S and Reid Duke just as soon as that's available. There it is.
perfect.
We've got Ben S with the 5-color green Titan of Industry deck.
I love this deck. Looking at it initially right after the draft, I didn't realize. Oh, just wait. Jim Davis coming in with a 208 person raid for us here. Really
Hey, thanks so
appreciate
much,
that.
Jim.
Jim, you know what? Tough games. I really liked your deck. Hostile
We love
takeover
the
of
hearse.
Hormella. I just wanted to see hostile takeover 3 times in one game, and we didn't get to. But um, you know, unfortunately, you played against all of the Value Town decks, and then Ethan's I guess broken Gruul deck, which we didn't expect to see. It played out way better than you could have imagined. So
some
what can you
epic
do?
peels early on with hostile takeover off the top. Very well
Yeah,
done.
that was so twice in that matchup. The top deck for what we thought could have been the win, but yeah, crazy. So much fun watching these high level players.
If you're just joining us, I'm Jake Brown. I'm a limited content creator for Star City Games. Joined here with Chad, who is a former esporter split champion. And we're watching Ben S save the day with Titan of Industry against Reid Duke. Just couldn't powered it out off the back of suitcases. Is this a turn 5 Titan?
It looks like it's darn close, yeah. For anybody that hasn't watched Ben's deck yet, I was just saying, on the surface, it looked, it looked good, but I don't think I realized how good all of his suitcases actually were going to be. In this game, not looking quite as strong, a little bit on a back foot, but you know, just really cool to see somebody putting in the effort to do a kind of a 5-color pile, quote unquote. I mean, it's more cabaret than anything, but it's very very cool.
Sawjack off the top, and you'd hope that it'd be saving the day, but unfortunately, we're going to see slip out the back here used as a rare defensive play. Gonna clear the road here. That Sawjack not blocking.
Yeah, so anybody in chat, if you have any questions about eSporter as a whole, like what they do, what kinds of things you get when you join, Just feel free to throw them out there. I was involved in the very first split. Um, it was great. The best part is they've been doing it for some time now, so there's no doubt in my mind that it's even improved more, which is awesome. If you're just looking for some other experiences within your Magic, your your Magic playing, check it out.
Whew.
It's one of those things that if you're a little sick of that ladder grind.
Oh,
Oh,
you see
oh,
Ben Stark here just throwing up a hand, going, ah, come
yeah,
on.
yeah. I played my bomb rare early and still couldn't win. That's tough, but yeah, no, esport is a great way to expand your Magic game. Great group of people. Great opportunities. Yeah, just if you're sitting like I was thinking, I need something more out of this game, give it a shot.
Absolutely. And don't
I
forget to
guarantee you'll enjoy
use
it.
the command esporter in chat. You can get 10% off an upcoming course. Your coaches are going to be JustLolaMan and Cortical's Alex Nikolic from the Limited Level Ups podcast. Here it looks like, what are we tied? All 1-1 now? All right, Ben
Yeah,
pulling
must be.
back
Yeah.
in it. Or sorry, Reid pulling back in it. Ben disgusted at Titan of Industries' lack of ability to get him there. Ben's deck on the play. This is interesting. That Arya could do some serious work in this matchup. Now, wait a minute. Are we seeing, am I seeing that right? Is that an even the score being played in a main deck?
That I'm not sure.
I believe that is an even the score. So is this like the ultimate sideboard tech against Courier's Briefcase?
I mean, I wouldn't put it past these guys to figure something like that out.
So he goes, okay, draw 3 on your, crack a briefcase on your turn. Yeah, I'll just go ahead and draw X cards. Why not?
Yeah, I like it.
Oh, Reid. Love to see it. Also,
It's
somebody,
just
Reid Duke had been talking on the Limited Level Ups podcast about how he wasn't super deep into this format yet. So, obviously not a bad showing today, fighting for a place in Thursday's finals, but this is one of those situations where you go, maybe even the
oh
score, an unconventional pick might be showing some of that kind of limited experience with this
yeah.
particular limited format.
So Reid's opening hand here. Very interesting. If that land was a broker's hideout, I mean, it's the best hand you could ask for. But a little awkward, going to be trying to find a blue source here. But um, otherwise, like great hands for both players. I think we're gonna triple briefcase.
Okay,
Um, you
that's too
know,
many briefcases.
yeah, Ben's got a lot to carry though.
What are you, like somebody who's been kidnapped and being used as a bomb? It's just it's a briefcase for each arm and a leg, and you got to look at Arsonist here and go, thing's going to do some work.
Yeah, I mean, assuming Ben doesn't have to sack the briefcases to get his red sources here, um, he's got a pretty good setup. Ideally, he wants to keep those briefcases for the full value of drawing the cards. His deck is definitely capable of doing that. So um, I hope we get to see that again. I hope we get to
Oh,
see even the score being played. Never seen that card played. But we probably see Broker's Ascendancy come down here. And from there, Ben's going to have a tough road back. Might start with Overseer here, actually.
yeah, at least know what you've got. So, I mean, Ben goes, hey, I can protect my tokens. How much do I care about this 3 damage? Got the Arya in hand. The one thing I'm not sure about Reid's deck is just what his creature density looks like. How much are you really paying off this Broker's Ascendancy?
Right. I'm going to throw it out here.
Well, I mean, so why take the 1-for-1 there? If you're, just running out the Ascendancy, start building value off that sucker.
Yeah, I guess again with open deck lists and having played a couple of games, Reed's gonna know the value of basically any of Ben's creatures. He's got ways to make them stronger, ways to push them through. Um, I mean, it's one of those things. It's so big brain that it's hard to figure out completely.
Speaking of
Um,
big brain, Ben S scratching his head in hand, going, "What do I do here? I gotta bust all these briefcases."
yeah, not ideal. But unfortunately, with the ascendancy being on board, you gotta try to push something. So,
2-1
um,
smash. There it is. He's getting through.
as we're seeing, turn four ascendancy is is ridiculous. Even just with a 1-1, you can tell it's already making such a difference in the game. So, um, Reed looking like he's going to show us the power of
Inspiring overseer
potentially,
yet again.
yeah, and one of the best rares in the game in the set. So,
Yep.
um,
And then
let's
even
see.
the score.
Yeah, Ben would love to find a way to get to enough land and hit his Titan of Industry because that obviously could deal with the ascendancy, but
But now
it's
you just
not.
got that make disappear sit across, and you wonder, is that, are you holding out and going, you know what? Do you want to? I'm going to lean on the ascendancy and I'm going to counter that Titan. That's all I got.
Yeah, at this point we'll probably see that. Reed also knows that there is a certain sweeper that Ben might have. So trying to
Indeed,
protect from that's
indeed.
not a bad thing as well. Trying to keep that overseer on board. It's just such a big swing in the air. The game will be over pretty quickly if you can keep that out there. So
Has Initiate in hand. Initiate's going to, you got to think that Ben's going to want to get that out of there as quick as possible before it starts picking up those ascendancy counters, before, he's gaining, has the ability to gain 3, 4, 5 life a turn.
yeah, exactly.
Lifelink just remains uh, totally busted and limited for
Yeah,
everybody
very
just
good.
tuning in.
A little bit worse when you have to activate it every time. Initiate being one of the ones that's a little worse, but any other source of lifelink is unreal. Not a lot of cards naturally have lifelink in this set, and there's a reason why.
Indeed. Here, Butler coming down, and that Butler will be double
A double striker
striking on
on
combat,
8.
on attack.
So
That's
it will
very real.
double to an 8-1 with double strike. Um, yeah. Reed may opt to counter this. Yeah, he is
Yeah,
going to.
just goes
Yeah, huge threat. I don't know if Ben has a way to make it. Oh, didn't counter it. Never mind.
just chills. Oh, because Ben's just going to opt to sack a briefcase. Okay.
Right,
Tempted,
but
didn't pay the casualty cost, and so Ben just pays the 2 and says, "Yeah, briefcase, who
interesting.
needs it? I got another one in hand."
Yeah, so I'm just gonna see on Ben's list. Does he have access to trample?
It would have to be the 4/4 that has alliance, I believe, would be the only way to trample up that Butler.
Right, because if he could, that's huge.
Yeah, that would be substantive, but it's really tough to throw around trample. Your best bet with Mr. Orfeo, the builder, is to drop a Rocks Pummeler. As long as it's got that counter on it,
Yeah,
you
or
got 12
Titan of
trample
Industry,
coming through.
obviously, but haven't seen that card yet. So
All right. So here, got the briefcase, gonna secure access to red once again.
yeah, just a little awkward on the mana front for Ben, and that's going to be the downfall to a quote unquote 5-color deck. Is
Yeah.
you're gonna struggle once in a while.
Yeah, can't
Um,
afford to Aria this turn.
yeah, and against that situation again, when Arya is almost worse for you than it is for your opponent, even though you want to kill those creatures because they're just gonna get bigger, but um, Ben just trying to find a way to push enough damage to potentially end this before the
Wow, in
ascendancy
his
gets out of control.
Gonna take the 8 here.
Yeah, we might see Ben fire off that sweeper after combat here. Get everything out of the way.
I don't think he can because he's gonna have to pay green for the briefcase. That's gonna leave him
Right.
with
You can't. Okay.
no ability to sweep this turn.
So a little unfortunate there because it wouldn't be a bad play if he was able to kind of reset things and then make Reid draw a new creature to start pumping.
Yeah, I mean, it's you pay the briefcase mana to get your butler in play. Meanwhile, the butler's gonna die to your own sweeper. I just I wonder if it's worth fighting, the make disappear to get your butler on board just to lose it. Meanwhile, you keep that briefcase out, you can cast your sweeper, and you're getting pretty good rate on that. All right. Well, gonna gain a little bit of life there off the initiate.
So Reid down to 10 again. Only 2 creatures. If Ben could find an answer to the life linker and find some of his own threats, he's not looking the worst. It's a huge uphill battle. A way to deal with that ascendancy would be great. I'm not sure if he sideboarded into anything either, but
Butler, one of those interesting 17 lands cards where they talk about how much better it is when great players play it. And here you look at Ben with, 4 briefcases. That was that the final count of briefcases?
4, I believe, yes.
Yeah, where
Yeah,
you've
4.
got all kinds of these citizen tokens. They're going to help it get to its best double striking potential. Looks good, at least thus far, but
We
will
didn't
Broker's
see the
Ascendancy be able?
sideboarding, but I don't recall. But Ben might have brought in his By Your Silence for the ascendancy, so look out for that to come off the top of the deck as well.
Unfortunately, Titan getting further and further away. Agent's going to be able to boost up, not bust up that initiate. That initiate refuses to be busted up.
Yeah, Titan still very relevant, which is the reason it's so good. That 7/7 reach body plus you can kill the ascendancy is huge. And I mean, we hope to see it because it'll be the thing that'll make this interesting. But time is running out, unfortunately.
Yeah, I mean, he's on a 2-turn clock here.
Yeah,
And
the life link is just so deflating.
even if you have to pay for it.
Yes. At this point in the game, paying for it is fine.
All right. Now everything officially out of Aria handle except for the 2/2. Womp womp.
Yeah, and unfortunately, I don't think Ben even has access to 5 colors. He can't sack for a draw.
No.
Very, very awkward. The line I see at the moment is you play your Civic Gardener, swing in with your Butler because you just have to. You got to swing for 8, and then I think you hope to top deck that Titan.
I mean,
You can
you're
attack
dead
with guard.
here. He's gonna crack back for 10.
Right, you're just dead. But okay, assuming that you couldn't do that. Yeah, yeah,
I mean, okay, if you're not dead on board, here's the line.
yeah, yes.
Yeah, I mean, you're not
And
sacking
the good
your
game.
land. He just, doesn't get
Have
the
fun.
red, doesn't get there.
Yeah,
Then
just
S dropping 2. Reduke going to be in the finals on Thursday. You want to watch the finals on Thursday? Hit follow. Go right down there to the old follow button. It's over in that direction. It's the other direction. You know what's fun is looking at a backwards version of you and pointing in directions. Always great. All right. Hit the follow button. Make sure that you're checking out eSporter. There's going to be a different, better coverage team here on Thursday that's going to have way more fun. Chad and I just, man, we just really slogged through it. But thanks for being here. I appreciate it.
yeah, I appreciate the opportunity. It's been a lot of fun.
Thanks for listening to me eat fried chicken. Thanks to the eSporter team. I think there were a record number of signups during this broadcast. How many of you signed up? If you're in chat, you signed up. Just drop a little, spam some cats for us. Do
Yeah,
your
and
thing.
again, just another thing just you can get from esport. It's a community, right? I haven't talked to them in a long time, and they reached out to me and said, "Hey, can you help us out?" And I mean, this is great. I mean, this is something that I've always wanted to do. Do a little bit of broadcasting, a little streaming, on my day off of my full time job, and not a bad thing. Very happy to be involved, and yeah, that's all thanks to eSporter, the prize pool, the whole situation between them and Lola Man. It's going to be a great event.
It truly is. There are still spots available. If you want to sign up, make sure to get in before it is too late. You can go, just type esporter, bit.ly/SNC Showdown. Pod 1 is the bracket. I said the wrong thing. That was great. No, if you just use the command esporter in the chat, you'll be able to uh, pick up a little bit of discount. You can save 10% on the next entry fee, and all that goes towards this tournament that they're doing. It's going to be a blast. I wish I was back in it. I miss it. I miss the community. It truly is really good people from top to bottom. You get to meet friends and not just screen names that spam good game after turn one.
Exactly.
All right. Well, Chet, thank you so much for joining me. Thanks so much to eSporter, JustLolaMan, for putting together the Streamers Showdown. And don't forget, tune back in on Thursday, where you can see how all this is going to finish out. We've got what? Reid Duke, Lord Tupperware, Numot, and Seth Manfield all going for it.
Inspiring overseer remains broken. I will I will continue to say so. It showed us all day, like, so good.
So good. All right. I've been Jake Brown.
Chad with two D's. Have a
Chat with
lovely
two
day.
Ds. Thanks everybody for joining us. See you on Thursday.